Toss of the coin here tonight.
John's doing the toss for us. Mark, you're the visitor. It'll be your call. Head's the call. And it's a head.
Carlton to the left of the screen. Umpires tonight, Luke Farmer, Gary Feeler and Shane McInerney. Perfect night for football. Good temperature. A little bit of wind about pushing from the south, gentlemen.
Yeah, it was a little bit blustery down there doing the pre-game show. BT, see the boys going in. Daniel Kerr, second game back. He'll be better for the run last week against Melbourne. Been a champion for so long now.
Really looking forward to seeing what Carlton bring to the table tonight, Richo. It's a massive game for them. 0-4. I think it's too far to come back from, and I think they don't make the finals unless they can find a way to win tonight. We're talking about total team defence, and they've got to stop team scoring 100 points, but they also have got some issues up forward as well.
That's the thing early side, just that pressure. They can't allow teams 60 inside 50s as they have been doing. And Sean Hampson, they need a forward to stand up and kick 3 or 4 goals. A tall forward, I mean, there's Chris Judd.
He's pushing all the way down to the goal square.
I like that.
So that's a good move. They've got to find goals through different avenues. Judd right on his own at full forward.
Cox and Warnock go at it in the middle for the first time. Here's Garlett getting the first possession. Stripped of that, though. Butler did well. Kerr in the middle. Still all the action inside the centre square here. Simpson now gets onto the loose ball. Murphy just peels it back to Simpson because he had a little more time and space. Likewise to Scotland. What a Trojan this guy's been. 246 games for Heath, Scotland. Murphy sends it up to half forward without great direction. Hearn.
Well, you see Adam Selwood running around with Chris Judd. He's followed him all the way to full back. So that's one hard tag. And
good start by the Blues here. West Coast are forcing to kick the ball around at half back because they're defending through the middle part of the ground really well. And that's what you've got to do, to not allow so many inside 50s, and they haven't been good at that in the first 3 weeks.
Butler just inches the ball forward. Umpire said play on, and Brennan abides and goes to a strong Cox. Cox long way out. Here comes Kennedy in the pocket. Good hands. He's very good overhead.
He's in terrific form.
He's really good at marking the ball at pace coming at it, isn't he?
It's the perfect way to do it because, as you see here, arms fully extended on the lead. The only thing the defender can do there, he's not going to be able to reach the football, so he has to chop the arm speed too. If he doesn't mark it, he gets an arm chop, he gets a free kick.
How's the boundary umpire, the hairdo going in the background? He's having a ball, the little boundary umpire there.
Got a bit of Sherrod Wellingham about him with the hairstyle there.
Well, look at him. Here's Kennedy. Really difficult angle here. Make no mistake. It's not easy, and with that style, who knows? Across the face, though, it is quite effective. Yeah, it has.
12-3 this year. That one didn't go quite so well, but
it's worked for him.
As long as you've got a routine, and he does it every time, it's comfortable.
Yeah, that's the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Must be comfortable, and you can really do what you want.
Hey, Lingy, you got any matchups through that midfield region?
Yeah, well, Richo, the real obvious one is Andy Carrazzo is going to Pritis, as West Coast might get an early one here.
Selwood has a snap.
Yeah, so Andy Carrazzo, probably the best run with player in the comp now. He's got the job on Matty Pritis. Pritis so important for West Coast. He kickstart. It's a lot of their game by his hard in and under and great hands in the pack.
Back into play. Judd needs to be clean here because he's confronted by 2 Eagles.
Gee, Garlett's on his own if they can win the ball here, the Blues.
It's a fend-off.
No, he didn't know whose free it was. Kate Simpson for high.
So a fend-off free kick there against Pritis, and they had Garlett out, as Richo pointed out. There's a good shot of what's in front of Kate Simpson.
Jeff Garlett's just running around on his own here. Someone want to pick him up pretty quickly.
Free kick to Robinson. He rubs the head. I don't know why he got called play on then. Come off the line by about 1 millimetre. Robinson still rubbing his head behind players. Glass kick it in. Subs tonight, by the way. Dalziel for the Eagles and Joseph for the Blues. Here's Schofield, beardless today. The clean-shaven running star from down Geelong way, Will Schofield. Gee, Hill, I think it was, probably should have gone a little harder then. Confused Cripps, now Tui to tidy it up. Simpson. Bryce Gibbs, the corner of the eye. That's a good kick. A really good kick into traffic. McLean.
Chris Judd, bottom of the screen, wanted it short, and they're just waiting for Sam Rowe to present up forward.
Here he is, but in front Hampson, back from an appendix operation. 2 weeks later, here he is, 50 metres out, looking for the low ball. Couldn't quite get on the end of it, Garlett. Scott Selwood dashing from fullback in the Schofield direction. He gathers one bounce, says, I'll take you on. Over the Toyota logo and sends a deep ball without great direction, Henderson.
Yeah, he had nothing to go to, but he required one of his Eagles teammates to turn around and hit back up with the football, just leading back. Sometimes you need to turn around and present at the ball carrier.
Hampson did really well again on the Curnow. Might ask the doc about Hampson in a moment and the appendix operation, how difficult that would be coming back less than 2 weeks later. Here's around the corner, Yarran looking for Robinson. Doc Larkins, I don't know whether you can hear us down there, but a big job to be back inside 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is, Brian, but the advantage of this keyhole or endoscopic surgery, they're not the big scars of previous appendix surgery, so it's very little disruption to the muscle layer, and they get back within 10 days sometimes.
Holding, Chris Yarran, Carlton.
So this is the non-controlling umpire here.
Holding the arm.
You can hear the very clear call there, hold of the arm. He was inside the centre square when he picked this up. Let's have a look at the replay, and yeah, spot on. Had a grab of the arm.
Great call, wasn't it?
Yeah, he picked it out from 70 metres, and opportunity here for Yarran to kick the first goal.
Adam Selwood, the offender.
Yeah, Adam Selwood, he would have been disappointed he wasn't goal side of Chris Yarran. Someone as dangerous as this man need to be goal side and blocking his run, not letting him run.
Hasn't been that accurate, Chris Yarran, from the set shots in recent weeks. In he comes.
Oh, you've called it.
And that post almost looks like it's leaning a little bit to the right. Is that post straight? Bizarre. But he has not been good in front of goal in recent time.
It's certainly a tall post.
Well, if you go back and have a look at the same angle, Richo, you might laugh, but I reckon the post is crooked. There's McKenzie. I think I'm gone mad, don't you?
No, I don't.
Gibbs. Advantage paid. Walker. Always a good kick. Here comes Lucas in front, though. It's been marked by Rowe.
I like the way their forward line's functioning just at the moment. Hampson has taken a couple of very nice big clunks high above his head, and Rowe's moving around well. Look at the movement there. As you know, Richo, better than just about anyone, when you get movement, you get space, and that worked really well.
I'd be happy with his first few games. Sam Rowe, he's giving them a target, and he's
2 goals from his 3 games so far, Richo. 35 metres out, Rowe comes in to kick the first for the Blues and get them off to a flyer. Their fans stand and applaud. He likes it, and the goal umpire agrees.
So Sam Rowe, and a nice start here for the Blues, who have come with some great intention to this game. Good to see their forward line functioning well. And that's a nice little confidence booster for the man on screen there, Sam Rowe.
He's had to work hard to get his opportunity. Darson went to the SANFL and toiled away there for 4 years after being at the Swans, doing well.
Rowe's pretty happy about it. The Blues get off to another lively start. In fact, I think they're their only team this year to kick the first goal in every match that they've played.
It's one thing you focus on a lot, Richard, when you play interstate, particularly a place like this with such a parochial home crowd, is getting off to a good start, trying to just keep the crowd a little bit quiet.
Silence the crowd early.
So the Eagles heading towards their end now. Shuey dishes off. Opportunity for him now to go and dish long if he likes, and he does. Hits the post.
The way Carlton have structured up down back is quite different. They've got both Bryce Gibbs and Cade Simpson playing across half-back, maybe looking to get a bit of extra run, but also maybe just to teach them a little bit about the defensive work needed in the back half of the ground. They often play through the middle, but obviously trying to teach them a few more tricks.
Juddy's gone onto the ball now. Mitch Robinson's gone deep forward. Oh, gee, lucky Robbie Warnock there. Need to get your hands out in front. Dangerous letting it come onto your chest.
And take a step or two towards the ball. It'd be more comforting. Robinson over his head. Hampson at the rear of the pack. And I think that's against Curnow, yeah. That'll be Mackenzie's ball.
Hey, Lee, you're looking at Jacob Brennan running around with Mark Murphy at the moment. We're talking about the hard tag. What's your mindset, someone who's tagged the best players in the game? Do you just stick hard on someone who maybe has got a few doubts in their mind? Do you think you keep going with a hard tag all the time?
Absolutely, Das. Early on in the game's the key. If they've got confidence issues, terrific grab by Sam Rowe. Oh, no, sorry. Who was that one, BT? You can see a lot better than me.
I think it's paid to Rowe.
Yeah, you're right, Lingy.
Yeah, early on in games, you get them under the pump, get them feeling under pressure, feel like they're not touching the footy, and you can get on top of them early and do their head in a little bit. That's a key. Obviously, when they're up and flying, it's a different story. Sometimes you just hold on for dear life.
Rowe from 50 metres out. Got a 50-degree angle. Tough kick again, but he gives it every opportunity. Looks pretty damn good. Just offline.
I'll tell you what, I'd be wrapped if you were Mick Moldhouse, the way he's clunking it early. Look at this. That is magnificent. Pack mark.
Darling off his hands. Now Jamison. Yaron. In fact, it's Curnow to Walker. Walker to Murphy. Back to Walker now. In the middle, just out of the corner. Oh, great kick to get it there.
It was a brilliant kick off one step on the left foot.
Between two defenders.
It's just sensational.
Gibbs hammers it long. Garland at the back here. Trying to move Priddis. Armfield caught in the Hearn tackle. Quick hands, Priddis. Really good disposal.
Going to be had his time again, Gibbs. He had Rowe, gave him a good lead, and he also had Hampson inside 50.
Shuey in the middle, got a little bit of time and space. They won't run him down. Kick needs to be good. Gee, Walker just stopped there. And the mark taken by Cripps in the end.
I reckon Walker thought that was going to Josh Kennedy, and he just gave up on the lead, and a little shake of the head. Disappointing effort. Opened the door for Jamie Cripps. Brilliant run. That's where West Coast is going to be so dangerous tonight, on the turnover through the middle of Patersons Stadium here.
It's a free-flowing game early. Only had the one stoppage so far.
So here is Cripps. Directly in front, he's kicked it left. Strapping young goal umpire there, does. Young fella, look at him wave the flag. He's pretty good.
A sharp-looking young man.
Yeah. He's got a bit of rants from Richmond look about him.
He's got a bit of that about him.
You're fascinated by umpires, Brian.
Not really. There's McLean through traffic. Scotland. He wanted McLean to be back in play. The umpire said he wasn't.
They've given Jamison the job on Darling. That's how much Mick Moldhouse respects that young man. Henderson on Kennedy. Thought it may have been the other way around going into the game, Das.
That surprises me too. I would have thought Jamison was a natural matchup for Josh Kennedy.
Tui, centre half back for the Blues. Now Gibbs pursued by Hill. Closing also was Brennan, but cool head. He's taken half a step off the line then. I've noticed they've been hot on that all weekend, Das.
Well, that's ridiculous, because he's got to be able to go back in line and shape up and find out where he's going. But that was just a really harsh call.
I'm sure it's something they've cracked down on this week. I've seen it in other games where they've barely taken a step off the line and they've called play on. Murphy.
The rule of the week, you reckon?
Absolutely, no question. Lucas.
Sounds silly. It does happen, though.
Yeah.
There's focus from week to week on different things.
As there is with players and clubs.
Yeah.
I don't know why they keep denying it. Here's Judd. Got to get down the big fella, and he eventually did, but they've coughed it up. LaCroix was wanting Butler to turn around. Walker went past. There's Hams. Handball over the top to Cox. He can sight this one up, and the man running straight at him put him off. Make no mistake on that one.
We saw the game last Friday night over here, Essendon and Fremantle, a wet game. No one could kick. And we've seen a few wonky kicks already tonight. Something in the air here at Patersons.
Kerr. Jack Darling. Over the head. Haven't seen that done since Michael Moncrief back in 1978.
The modern player likes to have a go at it. Bristol. Jack Darling has got a few tricks in his trick back. Just starting to see the pressure. The West Coast Eagles clamp down, and got to be careful not to over-handball here, Carlton. They'll get it turned over.
McLean decides to pump it along. Judd's got to go. He made Selwood work under the ball, so that was well done. Lucas got bowled over. Just a little more desperate in there, the Eagles, to win that one. Schofield around the corner. Stand and deliver here. The mark has been taken by Cripps.
You see Andrew Walker there about to stand on the mark. He just ran straight past Cripps. I don't think he saw him. He actually ran past him, and then Cripps was just standing on his own inside 50. Started well, Walker. Had 9 disposals. He did this last week, but just had to be a little bit better with his defending there.
Once again, there is the angle confronting Cripps. Has to be left to right. That's not enough. You can see the grey skies presented here in Perth tonight. No threat of immediate rain, possibly late in the game. So look at that, 6 behinds already for the Eagles.
West Coast Masters trapping you inside their forward half of the ground. They really push numbers up. They apply huge tackle pressure. At the moment, Carlton just can't get through.
Well done, Garlick. Really well done.
And that's what it takes. Because this is a narrow ground, it's a lot easier to keep teams in your forward half of the ground with your zone defence across half.
Beautiful,
half back.
soft touch front and centre, Garlick then.
Takes a bit of brilliance to break through the line.
In he comes now. Any young kids that want to watch and get front and centre for the soft little tap down, replay that one then of Jeff Garlick getting to the right position. Excellent stuff.
Blues are having more of the footy and are more efficient. They just need to get a couple of goals on the board, because you know it's going to swing around the Eagles' way at some stage.
Here he is again. Garlick gets an entry inside 50. A lot of Eagles players there. Over the top was Brennan. Dangerous out the back. Scotland gets a good look. Just misses to the right.
I'm pretty sure, Lee, that Scotland might be following Daniel Kerr around tonight. Every time I've looked up, he's had his arm across, and not often you see him tag, but that's a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, Das, I've got the feeling at the moment all the Carlton players have got their matchups, their preferred matchups, and a lot of them are going on and off the ground with their Eagles opponent. I reckon Mick's gone very one-on-one, beat your opponent.
Schofield goes down towards Hill, flies off hands. Here's Lacroix, gets another look from 52 out and drills it.
Doesn't miss. Oh, that was great by Mark Lacroix. I think the Carlton defenders would like their time again. If you're going to go third man in, spoil, you have to clear the ball out of your area, and Lacroix stayed down and drilled it. One of the best shots at goal in the competition at the moment, Mark Lacroix. I reckon if you had to pick someone to have a set shot to win you the game, can he be in the top few in the AFL at this stage?
Have a look at this. Lacroix kicks the goal, and he knows how good he is, Richo. He doesn't even bother to wait for it to go through. You can't quite see it there, but he just looked away and got straight back to where he needed to be.
But Zach Tui, he had to make an impact on that, because Lacroix stayed down. And when you're as dangerous as Lacroix around goals, you have to get the ball out of his area.
Curnow. Robinson just in a hurry to get rid of it. Selwood, really good vision to see Brennan lurking wide. And that's a hold. That'll be
Sinclair, hold the arm.
Sinclair's ball.
Yeah, be disappointed, Michael Jamieson. That was a long looping ball that he really should have been able to fist away.
Big kick by Sinclair. Right to the square, off hands. Robinson squirts the handball to Murphy, who's under pressure. Got to come out of here, Lucas. And did well, Sinclair.
Who do you reckon the best set shot is in the AFL? Mark Lacroix has to be close at the moment. Just doesn't miss.
Just off the top of my head, I can't think who of the other 700 players who they are, Richard, at the moment, but I'll get back to you.
Well, just have a think about it, Bristol. You like goal kicking. I thought it might have been your area.
Yeah, well,
Chris Main from Fremantle jumps out at me. A very nice action. There's one for you, Bristol.
You've plucked one. Nice.
Thought you'd be all over the goal kicking, Bristol.
Cox to Miss Marston. There's Robinson, didn't have it. Probably should have got the free. And just hurried it back inside 50. Boundary line will beat them. Good crowd in tonight. Some 38,000 in here so far. Big crowd at the MCG today. 81,000 there. So footy is alive and well. Launceston was packed today. Marston, Shuey, all combining to Selwood. The standing start. Blues in front here. In the end, ball worked in the Simpson direction. Marston picked it up, got it off to Hill. Can he control it and beat Jamieson around the corner? Too much. Still in play. Patersons.
They're really just starting to strangle Carlton here, the West Coast. They started really well, the Blues. Had it inside their forward 50. Got a couple of marks from Hampson and Sam Rowe. But at the moment, look at all the numbers up, just pressing forward.
Selwood has a look. Did he kick it? No for Scott Selwood there. Precisely 6 minutes left in the quarter. Just a goal apiece here.
4-point margin, but they've missed 4 goals they could have easily have kicked here. Could be out to a 4 or 5 goal margin already.
They've elected that side just about every time here. Curnow, just on the back foot at half-back. Gee, they've had real trouble getting it directly to someone from that position. Kicking to the contest just about every time. Brennan. Punched away. Patersons to Gibbs. And now Scotland from centre half-back. A little more deliberate. Hampson in the wrong spot there, the front and centre. Gee, Scott Selwood's knocked up getting it here early as well. Got it in the hill area. He waited a little. I think that was Henderson in and underneath for the Blues there. White was thereabouts as well. Had to go and get it, Robinson. Didn't have a lot of running support. Brennan to Butler. Butler along the ground with a pretty ordinary ball. Schofield's gone real deep. Murphy's nailed in the hill tackle. Picked up by Darling. Opportunity out wide, Cripps.
Well done.
Good tackle, Gibbs.
He saved a goal, Bryce Cripps. Great pressure.
Now Scotland.
Let's just see how hard it is to get cleanly through half-back for Carlton at the moment.
Look at Hampson over the top. Got both claws, couldn't reel it in. Glass under some Yarran pressure. He went to ground very easily. Yarran, good little kick. One-hander by Armfield, missed. Recovered. Should have gone with a handball over the top. Now Garlett has got it all to do, and he will kick the goal.
Oh, there's Darren Glass coming off the ground. He looks really sore. Doc will be all over that one, but gee, they nearly made a meal of that. Sean Hampson kicked it around his body. He was trying to kick it to Jeff Garlett. There's no doubt about that. He wasn't trying to snap the goal, but it nearly bounced away from Jeff. And this Glassy looks like a shoulder concern down there.
Doc Peter Larkins, what do you make of this replay with Glass?
I think he subluxed the shoulder, BT, so he actually jars the shoulder, and he's just indicating on the bench that he felt a movement of the shoulder going in and out of the socket. So while it didn't fully dislocate, that's still going to be a limiting injury for the rest of the night.
Not a good weekend for the WA captains. Pavlich with his problems, and now Glass with his apparent shoulder problems. Hill in front, tried to milk the free. Darling just went and got the ball, as he so often does. It's in very capable hands here. Kerr, long ball. Cox stood. Off hands, Gaff, front and centre. Picked up, couldn't get enough on it by Boot. Still under pressure, the Blues. Oh boy, Tui ran straight over the top of it. Went back and got. They are under enormous pressure in their back half. It's the best I've seen the Eagles this year at applying pressure, trying to keep it in.
Some swift hands from the Blues side. They've worked their way through it.
Simpson and Murphy combine really well. Smart, intelligent football. A good-looking ball to Rowe.
Now, the exciting thing for Carlton fans at the moment is when they get through, they look like they're going to score. There's plenty of space.
There's Hampson on the lead. Just not up enough. McLean at the back. Here comes Armfield. I don't reckon he saw him, Brennan. Brennan was in cruise mode. Didn't see him coming.
What about Dennis's leg speed there? Incredible.
He's really, really quick. I love the way Sam Rowe's going about it then. Presented up through the middle of the ground, and he's just giving them a good target early, and Hampson's competing as well.
Martin, contact from the front. Marking appearance. Play on.
Marston. Cox presenting up in front of Jamison. 2-on-1 here. Murphy out the back. Jamison cool over the top. Here they go, the Blues once again. McLean. Got a bit of open space. Yarran's caught behind. Hampson's there as well. Go to ground once again, the Eagles. Hampson needs some support. Can he get rid of it? Yes, he did. Did it really well. And then Scotland tried to bore a hole in the defenders. Not successful. Selwood out of trouble again. Got it on here to Schofield. Schofield to Kennedy.
What Kennedy had then was a forward stream, the space in front of him.
has taken the mark and got 50.
Well, he set a bit of a standard there, the umpire, that has not got a lot of margin for error. Mick not happy, takes the headphones off. The local fans love it, but you can hear the reason umpire saying not in the marking contest.
Hams comes in, kicks the goal. So the Eagles doing really well here. They lead it by 3 points. Let's get down to Dr. Peter Larkins.
See the big strapping job being done on Darren Glass over that shoulder injury just a minute or two ago. He's really sore as he goes down, so he does sort of absolutely plants the hand and all the pressure goes through the arm. He then lands on the AC joint, so it could be a combined injury, but I'm more concerned, Brian, that he's subluxed the shoulder and he'll be weak and sore the rest of the match.
Are you sure he's going to get back on, Doc, do you think?
I'm sure they're going to test him, Brian. So what they're going to do is put him through a little bit of a fitness test on the side there. But Glassy, I reckon he'll get back with that sort of injury. Normally you would.
I reckon he'd be happy with that shot showing too of the upper work he's done on the body.
He's in pretty good nick, the big fella.
Glass, yep. Bit of a scrap in the middle here. Sinclair was almost tossed over the top. Shuey. Lacroix, in fact, it's Cripps. It's wide, Darling, unbelievable. He thought it was definitely Scott Selwood's.
Calling play on quick too, BT.
They are. Kick inside, off the chest. So it's a Sinclair free here. Let's have a listen.
Advantage out of zone. Callum Sinclair held.
He's a massive young lad, this man, Callum Sinclair. It's only his third AFL game. He's 200 centimetres tall, and they've got him listed at about 96 kilos. And what's happening at the moment, just because of his sheer presence, great mark from Darling there. Kept his eye on the footy. Here's the free kick. He's got Lockie Henderson worried just because of his sheer presence and size, and he's drawn a couple of pretty soft free kicks.
That's why it doesn't hurt when you've got big targets down there, just to put it into that sort of zone and let them jump at the ball when you draw free kicks.
So Sinclair comes in with what looks a pretty simple shot. Boy, oh boy, didn't he squirt that off the outside of the boot. Callum Sinclair.
The Blues have got one more opportunity here. Need a clean kick in. And a play on.
They've got that.
They've got to play on out on the wing.
They have. Looks like Lucas out there. Now, what can they find after this? A lot of traffic there, so it's going to be hard to find the loose player.
Scott Hampson with Schofield down the line. Just get it to him.
Goes long and deep, but to the wrong option. I mean, Robinson did really well to earn the free kick there.
Thank you.
But he just willed himself to make a contest of that then, Robinson. Short ball to Scotland. Point of the square, minute to go in the quarter. Everyone's forward of the ball except this line of Carlton players here on the end. Henderson, very wide, good ball. Hampson.
Gee, that was a good kick. Well set up from one side of the ground to the other. He's looking dangerous tonight, Sean Hampson. He's presenting. Him and Rowe are both presenting. And this is what Carlton have needed for a couple of years now. Tall forwards to take marks inside 50. Just needs to finish off.
Normally this shot's a little left-right, but I just think with this southerly, I wouldn't be quite sure where to place it. Maybe a little bit the other way, like that. Does come back a little bit, but not enough. So Mick Malthouse down, straight onto the runner, and he said, "Can you run this one personally for me?" Schofield goes long and wide to Cox, and Henderson did well on that occasion.
A couple of times that Carlton have scored, it was Jeffrey Garland at half-back, brilliant bit of play. It was Heath Scotland bursting through half-back. I think Mick's going to come down and say, if we're going to win this game, we've got to take risks and try and get through this forward zone. And if we get caught, we get caught, but we'll do it taking risks.
So a good quarter of football here. It's tight. He is looking for his first win of the year, Mick Malthouse. Got his team in a pretty good position here at quarter time, although the West Coast lead it by 3 points. 2-8-20 West Coast, Carlton. 2-5-17.
They keep getting it in there, Carlton. Hampson and Rowe are looking dangerous, just over handballing a little bit too much through half back. A lot to do with the Eagles' pressure, but if they can start kicking more through half back and getting out, they look dangerous because of Garlett, Yaron and the big boys up forward.
What do you make of it, Lingy? You've been down there. Time to consider it in the quarter-time break. What would you do?
Well, first things first, BT, I'd be doing everything I possibly can if I was Carlton to start putting on some pressure through the middle of the ground. It's 13 entries to the West Coast Eagles for 10 scoring shots. They haven't made the most of it. They've only kicked the 2 goals, 8, but just far too easy through the middle part of the ground. It's just coming through that fast that the Carlton defenders are just scrambling in the end, and it's very hard when West Coast, we know, has got a great forward line. Too hard when they're given time and space to do their work. It's just, it's got to come further up the ground, not deep in defence.
All right, let's get down to Dr. Peter Larkins. Doc, first of all, Glass, and then an update on Michael Hurley of the Bombers.
Yeah, Darren Glass is making his way very carefully to full back again. He will start on the field. He's quite distracted. He did a couple of little overhead pretend contests just to test that right shoulder to see, but he's quite sore, Brian. I'll be interested to see if he's got to get into a serious tackle against a Carlton player, but he has definitely subluxed his shoulder. You see the heavy strapping there. And a bit of an update on Michael Hurley. It looks like the Achilles is not going to be the major concern. He's got a significant lateral ankle injury. That's why he was subbed out of the game. Obviously in doubt next week, but hopefully only for a week or 2.
What about that? The bump straight away on Glass.
Yeah, got straight into him, tested out. That's fair enough. Chris Judd goes to full forward again, but he's roaming right up the ground.
Only had the 2 handballs, Chris Judd, so can't get involved at this stage.
Good news for the Bomber fans there. Michael Hurley, no Achilles. Appears to be some sort of ankle, says Doc Larkins.
Would have been an absolute disaster, an Achilles injury. Tough to get over those.
Yeah, it did look like that in the vision, though. They just tend to go pop. Here's Kerr to Cripps. Gibbs over the top, fighting hard, who's been pretty good in this opening part of the game.
No genuine attempt. Play on.
No genuine attempt. The ball spilled out, but anyway, that's how it works.
Now, long lead here, Hampson. Needs to hang on. Did well to control and get it back inside 50 or one-on-one to Rowe, who's very good overhead.
I reckon Glassy got up there and favoured that arm. He's put it straight down. I don't reckon he's right, but this man here got a great set of hands. We've seen him take 3 big contested marks now. They might have found a forward, the Blues.
I wonder how long they'll give Glass to sort himself out before...
He didn't spoil with his right arm, and then he didn't like it when he fell on it.
Great pick up, Richo. Here is Rowe. From a difficult angle here, but very kickable. It's a little bit right. Got to absolutely hit it flush when you've only got 2 or 3 metres of goal face to work with. So the scoring here, quarter time,
Boys,
between them.
Carlton about 30 or 40 out from goal. High contact.
It's a free pay.
Looks like
the
it was
free's
on
been paid.
Mark
Free's
Murphy.
been paid. High contact.
Umpires plucked that one out from the middle of the ground, and it'll be a shot for goal.
Let's have a look at it, see what happened. Surely it's not for that. Oh, boy. It wasn't a knock, it was just a grab, but...
I don't even think Mackenzie meant to do it, but did get him high.
All right, as a result, we see Armfield taking the kick top of the square, and he makes a certainty of it, and they're back in front, the Blues.
What do you mean it wasn't a knock, Brian? It was an elbow to the head.
Oh,
Has
no,
to
I
be
just
a free
thought, I
kick.
thought he actually hung on to him. I didn't think
If
he
you hit someone high in the head, it's got to be.
didn't think he knocked back with his arms. I thought he just went back and grabbed him.
His nose is facing a different direction at the moment.
You're getting very soft, Gus.
I would like to see that again.
Yeah, he definitely, he's wiping his nose a fair bit. I don't think he's...
Brian, you're saying that this is no contact, not a knock.
I'm
That's
saying
an
that he
elbow
just went-
to the head. You have to pay a
I'm
free
saying
kick.
he went back and grabbed him. He didn't throw the hand back in a motion of striking.
I don't think he meant to do it.
Didn't mean to do it, but if you elbow someone in the face, the umpire sees it.
I don't reckon he did. I reckon that was just a bit of collateral damage, Das.
Oh, no.
Well, you asked me. I gave you the answer. I can't do anything but give you the answer, surely.
You get one right every now and then.
Oh, well, we try and do that every now and then.
It's all right to admit you're wrong, Bristle.
Darling back inside. West Coast go deep. Off hands Gibbs, who's been really good in this game so far.
Just panicked a little bit there, Bryce Gibbs, which is not normally his go. He's normally got a lot more composure.
Look at Lecras trying to come and take it because Prittis has got his left leg. Yeah, no, it didn't fall for that, the umpire. Lecras wanted it. He knows Prittis has got the left leg go to the boundary line here.
So now he tries to lessen the angle. Umpire should just call play on if he does that, like they've done all night. Why give the goal kicker an opportunity that the midfield players don't get? High ball on the head of Cox.
How long do you get on goal? How many seconds is it?
30.
You don't get 30 around the ground, though, when you take a mark, do you?
No, but what does that mean?
Well, you get you take a mark inside forward 50, you get 30 seconds. Well, you won't get 30 seconds now, Mitch Robbins.
Sort of been the rule for a long while.
Well, I was never right across the rules when I played, so just trying to learn them now. Doesn't make sense, though, to me. If you take a mark, you should get the same amount of time no matter where it is on the ground.
So you want 10 seconds if you take a mark?
As long as it's the same everywhere, I don't care. It's different in different areas of the ground. Just a theory does.
You've lost me with
You never rate these theories.
Rich, I reckon that one's up there with your tall goalpost being skinnier.
Benny, you know what I was talking about there. You just won't admit it in public, but you've been all over it privately.
a little bit of an opportunity right here for Carlton. I think that they haven't been blown away at the start of this game, and West Coast haven't hit their straps at all. They'd love to just pile on 2 or 3. I reckon they get a bit of a sniff here, Carl.
So I think we'll end up balling this up.
It's a real one-on-one game, though, isn't it? There hasn't been a loose man back for either team all night.
1 metre, guys.
Midfield matchups, everyone's got not a lot of freewheeling going on.
Play on, play on.
Carazzo looking for the free, didn't get it. Prittis will get one. Plays on immediately to the left foot of Cox, and Cox got a fair bit of it towards Darlingham. Thought about giving it, turned around, went with an unusual looking thing. Kick to behind.
That's the skills of Dean Cox on the left leg there for a ruckman.
And the fact that his teammates are more than prepared to give him a handball receive running towards the boundary. It's a big job for Robbie Warnock tonight. He's back into the side. He's an elite runner, Dean Cox, and he's going to have to work very hard to keep up with him.
White's kick not good. Good look at the West Coast forward end there. Warnock and Cox. Prittis just flopping over the ball, I think, there. Gaff won't let it out. We'll have a ball up again.
Yeah, Cameron Link pointed out earlier that it almost feels as though Mick Moldhouse, as we look at the defenders picking up their men inside 50, Rich shows a bit of space, but it almost feels like Mick Moldhouse has gone back to basics tonight. There's lots of one-on-ones. You can see Scotland running around with Kerr for most of the night. Some hard tags. I really feel as though Mick's decided one-on-one's the go tonight.
Yeah, Carazzo and Prittis are going at it.
Curnow to Warnock. Kicks it up towards half forward. Butler keeps his feet. Did well, Butler. Now Hampson fighting hard. Thought a high tackle on her. Not paid. Has Murphy. Good around the corner. Looking for the ball, Judd.
Juddy's averaged 27 disposals in the first 3 games, and that's the second highest of his career so far, but spent a lot of time inside 50 tonight and still only had the 2 disposals, hasn't had a kick.
Here's Garlett, right foot snap. That looks pretty good, just off to the right.
And Richo, to back that up, I was talking to a good friend of Chris Judd's during the week. Juddy reckons it's the first time in a long time he's really felt that zip back in his legs. His hips and osteitis is all good. He's feeling great with his running. So surprising he's not through the middle of the ground.
Yeah, well, the only blue with fewer touches than Juddy tonight is the sub, Joseph. So it hasn't been a great night so far. Scott Selwood. Beautiful kick to Darling, who presents. Could have given it to Shuey. We will now with a neat little kick over the top within 45.
It's got two forwards that always come with the ball. Darling and Kennedy, they lead straight and hard. And when you do that, it just opens up holes everywhere inside your forward 50.
Gee, Lacroix wanted that. Shuey said no.
Yeah, within his rights to have a shot from here.
I think it was a bit filthy, Lacroix, that Shuey had turned his back on the play to go back and line up from... He's about 40. He's going to kick it from about 48 metres, so he'd want to be sure of the distance. Should make it from there. 47 out, kick on the way. Good looking ball, and he nails it.
Yeah, good running by Shuey, but that hole that he ran back into was created by Darling leading hard, leaves space behind him. Shuey then runs past and finds the hole. Darling pops it over the head to Shuey. Just love the way that Kennedy and Darling operate in that forward line.
Watch the circle, please, guys. Thank you.
50th career goal for Luke Shuey. Very capable player.
Had the tongue out there on set shot routine. Judd into the middle there now. Just Selwood is on fire. This is his 15th disposal.
Gives off to Lacroix. Lacroix driving long in the Kennedy-Jamison direction.
Lengy, would you look at Carazzo onto Selwood now? He's up to 15.
It's always the tough choice as a coach. Carazzo's doing a good job on Pritis, but you almost got to swap him over and get Scotty Selwood under check, because if not, he'll keep running amok. And the worrying thing, though, is you might free up Pritis after that.
In the middle. Free kick will go.
He's paid it against the runner and that's a big play, because the Carlton runners got involved. Armfield had the footy. Look at this turnover. Straight to Kennedy.
Oh, boy. Kennedy, Mark Jamison's come way over the mark, forces Kennedy to kick from outside 50 with a thumping ball that hits the post.
I'd be very nervous if I was that runner. Mick Moldhouse might give him one of the great sprays. Now, he actually got in the way of his own teammate.
Bit stiff, isn't it?
It is, but it's not hard to get out of the way of the ball, Richo, at the same time.
So you want to change the rules, Richo, because he's a bit stiff? Or
just doing his job, I thought.
Oh, he got in the way. One of the players.
Of his own man, though.
Doesn't matter. He stopped Carlton's run, Richo. Here's Robinson.
Oh, they're out here.
They are indeed. Garlett's got some real wheels, but he hands it over to a man that's silky smooth by foot. Takes a bounce, has a look over the shoulder. Said, no one can get me, and he drills the goal.
Oh, great goal. Chris Sharon, geez, when he's running and bouncing, he's unstoppable, and they're the opportunities you get when you get through the press. The opportunity to run into an open goal like that, and they look lively.
Chris Sharon gets the goal, but you need to have a look at this shepherd from Jeffy Garlett. He's the one that handed off to Yarran. Look at the work Jeffy does. Just worked him over, ran as hard as he could, made sure Yarran had the space. Brilliant stuff from little Jeffy.
7 goals kicked collectively here tonight, and each one of those goals has changed the lead. At the moment, the Blues by 2 points. West Coast going towards Marston. Long way out. Gee, big flop there from Hams. Should almost be penalised for that. Kennedy now. Darling there as well.
See Kennedy on the bottom of the pack there, provided another good lead. The Eagles have taken 5 marks on the lead tonight and only 1 for Carlton. Just got a great system between Kennedy and Darling down there.
So against Hampson on the hold in the ruck contest, says umpire Gary Feeler, and Sinclair has the ball. Now, Shuey's run around the outside. He really wanted it, demanded it, and Sinclair said, nope, this is my moment. From 55 out, hasn't got the journey.
It's not really what you're after. If you can't get the distance, you don't want to kick it right to the goal line. You're better off popping that up to about 15 metres and let your key forward compete.
Yeah, it's annoying that when you know a player hasn't got the distance.
Yeah.
Not saying it happened on that occasion, but he then still tries to get the distance, knowing he's always going to fall short.
Yeah, much better getting it to about 15 metres out and getting a contest from your big key forward.
Or on that occasion, give it to Shuey and see if he can create something.
Oh, he's through here again, Yaron.
Yaron got a lot of space in front. Let's have a look at the foot race. He says to Selwood, I'll take you on, mate. 3 bounces. Armfield for this, with the Shepherd did really well.
Yeah,
and Yaron kicks another one. Brilliant play by Yaron.
Sometimes when you come into state, you just need a couple of little special things to get the belief going, Richo. And they go over to Dennis Armfield. We need to see that Shepherd again. And it's 2 brilliant efforts. Little Jeffy Garlett Shepherd and Dennis Armfield. And you get a bit of spark out of it. All of a sudden, Carlton got a 7-point lead. Feeling good about themselves.
Well, that was the play. It got over the back, and once Sharon gets space and he can run and carry, it's all over. But look at Armfield. His effort to get in the way of Selwood there. He came from behind and shepherded. Darsh just highlighted Garlett's before. 2 terrific team shepherds there by Garlett and Armfield.
Biggest margin of the game, 7 points. They've kicked consecutive goals for the first time of either side in this game. Here's Yaron again, looking for another one. Curnow had to get rid of it. He did well to White. Now it comes back to Garlett. Garlett, a little chip kick on the head here. What can be done here? Couldn't quite get it done. Rowe. Now Schofield. All over it, Schofield. Probably should have got one for too high. In the end, umpire said, get on with it, Shuey. Out of defence to the contested pack. And all of a sudden, for the first time tonight, West Coast under some real pressure. Scotland. Lucas around the corner. Snap gets a really good bounce. They've kicked 3 in a row and lead it by 13.
Great front and square crumb. Just got it into a dangerous spot and got a contest, and Lucas did really well. Timed his front and square effort and finished around the body, and all of a sudden the Blues have kicked 3 in a row. They just look more dangerous in general play, forward of centre. Down the other end, it looks like lead and mark sort of stuff for the Eagles, but the Blues look more dangerous with the pace inside their forward half.
Well, when you work hard and you apply a couple of great shepherds, then you get a good bounce of the ball and a bit of momentum comes your way, Brian. There's a real lull here at Patersons Stadium. Big West Coast crowd are sensing that their home team has got some work to do.
Centre square infringement against the West Coast half back line here. Entered the square too early. Warnock goes long and deep off the chest of Selwood. Here's Judd. Got it to McLean. Armfield. Robinson. Back to McLean. Gets a look with a low spiral. Just misses.
They're using the ball well. They're going at 75%, the Blues. They've had 35 more disposals. They're starting to get some reward for it now.
We've spoken about it being a one-on-one game. They're going one-on-one from the kick-out, which
doesn't
you
happen much,
almost
does it?
never, ever see. So that's been the message tonight from Mick Moldhouse.
That's why Robert Walls introduced the zone all those years ago.
Shuey. Ball kicked to centre half forward into the hands of Henderson really probably should have held it in the end. Hams piles in.
As a team, an opposition team, the Eagles on the kick-ins will be pretty happy to see Carlton go man-on-man, because you only need one block in a huddle and you're out.
You almost get out every time these days, one-on-one. The sides are so good at it. There's the inside 50 count. Carlton have had their fair share of it in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Shuey, bit of an up and under ball here. Anyone's ball, free kick paid. It'll go the Eagles' way, directly in front of goal. It'll be Sinclair.
He's just got a bit of a presence about him, this big unit. Now, he missed one directly in front. Mick Moldhouse just ponders what's happening, so he'll be a little bit nervous about it, Callum Sinclair, but that's happened a lot. He's got a big frame, and geez, he looks pretty stiff there, Jamieson.
Sinclair from directly in front. Sprayed it again.
Gee, it's 3-13 now.
Well, we talk so much about football being a game of momentum. West Coast have had plenty of momentum through that first quarter and early on in this quarter, but just haven't taken advantage of it. We see Carlton go down the other end and kick 3 or 4 in a row. It could prove very costly by the end of the game. West Coast misses.
3 posters for West Coast tonight. Plenty of kick in practice for the Blues. They've kicked it in 13 times.
That was the difference, though, Bristol, just getting a high ball in there and letting a key forward compete. He draws the free kick. Not that there was a lot in it, but better to do that than go to the goal line and get it punched through.
There's Simpson. So doing a better job at controlling the ball here, even though this one goes to an aerial contest. Did well, Warnock, and he's off as well. Little short control kick to Judd. Just got under it a little. Now he has to put his head over the ball. Look at him get into third gear. Just retreats. Great composure from a champion. Now White goes long and deep inside 50. Hampson's there, but he's nursed under the ball by Hearn. Now Darling, ball locked in. Did he make a reasonable attempt? The umpire said yes.
Great play from Carlton.
Thanks, guys. Stay 1 metre, 1 metre, 1
Almost
metre.
a perfect style that Mick Moldhouse wants. Fast play down the line and then long to the hot spot.
Kick comes back to Scotland. Gives the don't argue. He's good on both sides. Lacroix.
Oh, right there. Play on.
There's Cripps.
Right, take the horse.
Got Pritis there as well. Good shepherd for him. Allowed him to cover another 10. Kick back inside wasn't so good. Davies. White, sorry, on McGain. Gives it off to Walker. Drilling kick from Walker. Just falling back in the hole really nicely was Mark Lacroix. There's Glass. He's still out there with that shoulder, so he's done well. But a lot of their forwards have had to come way up the ground. Late arrival there from White.
Just looks out on his feet there. Simon White trying to chase Will Schofield, who is an enormous athlete.
Very nearly a 50-metre penalty back there by Robinson as well. There's Jamison goes forward. Scott Selwood.
And there's Carazzo with Selwood now, so it looks like there may be a change there.
Ordinary kick. He's kicked it straight in the middle of his men. Spin out by McLean, goes to Robinson. He whacks it long to Hampson, who I think's going to mark this. Glass arrives late, and he's hurt his shoulder again, Glass. He can only get the left arm up. It's a brave result. Garlett goes straight at him along the ground, and he kicked the goal, but Glass says it's off his boot.
It did hit Darren Glass's boot. This is brave from Glass. He's really sore with that shoulder, but he's staying out there. Great spoil on Hampson. I thought Hampson had it.
Really good, as you say, Richo. Trainer or the doctor is out there now. What do you reckon, Doc Larkins? He's going to keep going?
No, I reckon we're not going to see him after half-time, to be honest, Brian, but he's going Glass and he's prepared to sort of stay out there and play left-handed.
Here goes the smooth-moving machine again. Chris Yarran sends a long ball. That was not to the advantage of the big fella down there in Hampson.
A couple of tired boys out there at the moment. Darren Glass is sucking in the big ones, but there it is, the replay of Richo. He just looks winged at the moment, doesn't he? Little nick on the foot.
Yep, good capture by the camera there. Lucas. You just reckon if Hampson could have put the arms up to mark that, Glass wouldn't have been able to get his arm up.
Yeah, got to do it. Got to get your arms up and take it overhead. That was great ruck work there by Warnock to Lucas.
Was that you, Lingy? I think. No. Okay, Brennan. Back to Pritis. Back to Brennan. Pritis now with the job of finding someone with this ball. Sinclair. Put his head over it and really went in hard. Good tap to Gaff. Back into Hill, who's been incredibly quiet today, Hill. Marston with a good ball in the middle. Presented to Shuey, just a little fumble. Allowed for time. Gee, they look tired at the moment here, the Blues. They're fighting on gallantly. West Coast in desperate need of a goal.
I almost feel like the Carlton side just needs to hold on this last 5 minutes. If they could take this 15-point margin into half-time, they'd be wrapped with it. But you're right, it's a massive ground here. And it takes a lot out of you. You've got to cover so much more up and down. And can see Hampson looks tired. Look at the inside 50s, Richo. The last 10, we've had 9 of them Carlton's way.
Yeah, they're dominating play now, Carlton. There's only been 5 ball-ups all night. That's why the players look tired. They're searching for half-time. It's just end-to-end.
Gratso Simpson, quick ball to Walker. He's in trouble. Now, he either dispose of it incorrectly or it's in the back. It's one or the other. Umpire let it go. Lacroix goes inside 50. Sinclair was there, Jamison. Hill tries to close the space down. Scotland sees McLean on the opposite side of the ground. Risky kick.
Gee, puts good forward pressure on Darling for a key position player. There he goes again.
Murphy almost got himself into a corner he couldn't get out of. Lucas back again, got the give and go. Now can he penetrate? This man can. Walker, very good by foot. They get it out to the man that's showing them a clean pair of heels in this quarter. Yaron, left foot ball into his path. A clean pick up here and he's on his way. Little fumble cost him a moment. Got it to Robinson, caught. Well done, the Eagles' defence. And McKenzie to rip it away. Hill flew. He got one high.
High contact.
It's a free kick to Josh Hill.
Play on.
So just 3 minutes 40 remain in the half. The Eagles are desperate for a goal, and is this the opportunity to slow it down?
Big first half, Mark Murphy. Richo was criticised a bit last week, had some goals kicked on him the first half against Geelong. Taylor Hunt kicked 3, 16 disposals already at half-time. He's just put in a power of work.
Gee, that was brilliant composure by Bryce Gibbs then. Now Lucas looking for a deep road, poor bounce. Schofield at the back, gets around Robinson, or does he? Nice handball in the circumstance to Brennan. Good spot for the Blues here.
No, hardly any ball-ups, low tackle numbers. It's end-to-end. And BT, you just called it that the Carlton players were looking pretty tired. I think both teams are. They need half-time now. Just not getting a stop anywhere.
Kerr backwards to Marston. Wooders copped it in the scone. Murphy just got bowled over. Gibbs with a mongrel forward. White competing there with McKenzie. Beautiful handball to Marston. Now Kerr. Marston just walked away with the ball. The left-footed Pritis will come in handy up the line here, but Kennedy couldn't make it work. Got to go hard. Walker, I think it was, with his head over the ball, and he just went straight at it.
And he took a risk. He came off Lacroix, won the ball. Well done, Andrew Walker.
Mark Murphy, sorry, Richo, he's got up and looks really lame at the moment. Doc Larkins will be all over it. We'll get down to the Doc, hopefully just a corky. But we'll find out from Doc very shortly. Mark Murphy's been sensational in his first half.
Simpson dragged to the ground there. Picked up by Selwood, so 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Here's Lucas again. He's got Walker in support. Lacroix lurking dangerously. Gathers. No one between here and the goal score. He goes the low skimmer. And it's off to the left. Doc Larkins on that injury update, Doc.
Yeah, I think he got a very heavy knock in the right thigh. Mark Murphy had a lot of trouble. You can see the collision there, and he has a lot of trouble putting the weight on it when he first gets up. He's got a mark on there, but he's just coming good as you normally do after a cork, Brian. He's just a bit sore now.
I think he got a bit of a corky last week as well, Murphy. There's Pritis. 148. Eagles really would love a goal here. Carazzo in the last line of defence. He's got a big kick to make there. Oh, boy, how big was that kick?
Yeah, that was high risk, wasn't it? He didn't have a lot of margin for error. A minute 30 on the clock. I'd love to just hold on here, Carlton, not concede.
That was ballsy.
Was.
Robinson infringing. No, it'll go the Blues' way.
The upside for Carlton here is that Chris Chard has had the quietest first half I think I've ever seen him play. He's had 5 touches, no impact at all. If they can get him in all big collisions.
Yes.
19 minutes since an Eagles goal, 12 minutes since a Blues goal. It's just been full-on pressure football out there in the middle. That's why they're tired. Here's Yaron again. He's got free space again. He looks around again. He says, I can do this for the 3rd time in a quarter. Unbelievable stuff, Chris Yaron. Unbelievable stuff from Chris Yaron. Just that nonchalant look around to say, I've got everyone on this ground covered tonight.
And once again, Richo, what about Jeffrey Garlett? Ran past Selwood from behind to Shepherd. You never see that. Yeah. Armfield's done it once. Jeffy's done it twice. Look at this. Garlett's behind there, number 38. Keep your eye on him. Yared's free. Poor old Selwood's giving chase.
All the chasing, Selwood.
And there comes Jeffy. Gets past him. That's the difference between kicking those 3 goals or not. They're the sort of plays that when you big games interstate against the odds. Armfield won prior to that was an absolute ripper. 10 bounces this quarter, Yared's had.
He knows, Richo, that just the way he's looking, he knows that there's no one out there that can catch him.
Yeah, and that's why he backs himself in. And as Darce just pointed out, 10 bounces for a quarter. That's just about world record stuff, I reckon.
Exhilarating stuff from Chris Yarran here tonight, and particularly in this second quarter. 3 sensational goals where he's run and taken them on. Jamieson, 30 seconds remain in the half. It's a game-high 20-point margin for the Blues. And Mark Murphy preparing to come back on down there. Just in the bottom right of your screen, you can see him.
Yeah, that's the difference, Carlton. Once they get it through the press and past the centre of the ground, they just look too swift for the Eagles at the moment. With Yarran and Garlett and Armfield, who's real quick also.
Well, Shuey was happy to find the boundary there. It was well disguised.
Said it a little bit, but when you come away into state, and let's be honest, not many people gave Carlton much of a chance tonight. You need a couple of things to go your way, and then a couple of really brilliant individual efforts, and that's what this second quarter has been for the Blues. Yarran's bouncing, forward pressure, shepherding, all these little things are just stacking up something special tonight here for Carlton.
What a quarter of football. 5 goals to 1 Carlton kicked in it. Both sides were extraordinary with their pressure skills. And it was the pure running ability of Chris Yarran that set this game alight for the Blues. He was marvellous with 3 goals in the quarter. All of them were just inspirational. And the West Coast, Glass was fantastic. Had a bad shoulder, but wanted to stay on the ground with it. And that was incredible stuff as well. 3:14:32 West Coast, Carlton 7:10:52. What do you reckon, Richo, here in this second half of footy?
I reckon the Blues are good things at this stage. They're playing good footy. They look dangerous with their small forwards. They need to get them under control. There's Darren Glass, still just the way he's sort of holding that arm. It doesn't look right, but he's going to play out the game. It's Kerr and Murphy. But yeah, I like the Blues' chances. They've got a sniff of their first win of the year. We know how crucial it is. You cannot go 0-4 and make finals realistically, and I think they're going to be pretty desperate to win this game. It's going to go right to the end. They're not going to give up that 20-point lead easily tonight.
The West Coast Eagles will be pretty desperate to stop Chris Yarran. We just saw him on screen. Electrifying stuff. 10 bounces in the second quarter. Judd has gone back to full forward, and it looks as though it's going to be Jacob Brennan now who's going to run around and try and stop.
Never seen him spend so much time inside 50 in a game before, Darce. I just can't remember.
It makes me think that there might be something up, whether he's maybe not quite feeling 100%. He's only had the 6 disposals, Chris Judd, where he might have come into the game a little off colour.
As you pointed out earlier, someone said that he'd been the leading possession getter at Carlton this year.
Yeah, he's averaged second 27 per game, which is the second best average of his career. I know it's only been 3 games this year, but he'd started the year off really well, so just trying something different, Mick, maybe.
Either different or something just not quite right with him.
And Darce, you called it at the half-time break that they might have made the shift of Andy Carazzo onto Scotty Selwood. That's exactly what they've done. Matty Prittis is playing half forward. Selwood too much footy in that first half for Carlton's liking.
Lingy all over the early changes here. Gibbs to Simpson. Nice little kick through to McLean. Got to go though, Marston. In the middle of a couple of Blues here, one of those Scotland.
It's been good, McLean. 17 disposals in the first half, but was using the ball really well. Went at 90%, so he's turned his career around, Brock McLean. He was gone 18 months ago.
That free kick was for getting in the back. After they'd crossed over the boundary line, he landed on top of him. Scotland almost apologising, saying it was just sort of accidental.
Juddy's organising the forward line down there, the deepest forward.
Warnock there over the back. Should get a free here. Heath Scotland.
Carlton.
Been a great effort by him to play 246 games, isn't it?
Yeah, not slowing down at all. He's up to 18 disposals now.
Ball to Rowe, off hands. Here he is, Judd. Turns around. No one between he and the goals. Needs a good bounce. Got an excellent bounce and then a bad one at the end.
Well, he looked to have all his zip then, Dust, didn't he? Turned really quickly then.
Look, I don't mind the idea of him playing deep in the goal square. It'd be a nervous defender who's going to try and stop him for a half. Their midfielders are getting the job done at the moment. Heath Scotland's on top. Mark Murphy's going beautifully. McLean and Gibbs are all getting the footy. So, hey, why not something different? Judd permanent forward.
Darling. Missed Kennedy on the lead. Little heavy for him. Likewise, Sinclair. There's White. He had a little bit more time than White. Probably should have made a better effort disposing of that ball. Marston to Glass. Glass around the corner. Murphy did well to bring it to ground. Pritis keeps his feet. Everyone else hit the deck. Around the corner. Kennedy will be cut off here by Jamison. Gathers, caught with the ball. Did well to dispose of it. Kerr. Eventually Sinclair. High ball. In there was Hill. McLean and Simpson combining with Carazzo. And he just says, I got a mongrel one out of here. Rowe trying to knock it towards the boundary line. Glass will be happy for it to go over. And Glass back out there is great news for West Coast fans.
Certainly favouring that arm, but staying out there for his team.
Yeah, it's been a really good effort from him. Here is Selwood, who was really impressive in the first half here tonight.
Fine, thanks guys, watch the hands.
Something just a little bit lacklustre about the West Coast Eagles tonight. They haven't got that normal intensity that you expect this great side to have over here, and I think they need some spark, and this man's probably the one standout, Selwood.
Scott Selwood got it in, it hung in the air a little, allowed Tui to get there and thump it away.
There's no doubt they timed their pre-season a little differently this year, the West Coast Eagles. I think they were expecting to probably hit their peak around 6, 7 or 8. They've still got Nikoski, Nat Nui, Waters and Wellingham to come in.
Play on.
Tui. Hearn with Armfield. Both got it. This will be a ball up.
But in saying that, they certainly wouldn't want to be losing their home games here. I mean, that's what makes them what everyone thinks a pretty good thing for the top 4 because of the advantage they've held here at Patersons over the years.
Cox probably should have got a free kick then. Just to Marston, good hands. Here is Cox on his non-preferred side. He's very, very good. Jamison did well to work his way in front of Kennedy. He was caught behind initially. By the time the ball had arrived, he was in front. Good ball to Garland.
Yeah, this is where they've been getting through. McLean's made a break.
This time, not such a good effort. Gaff. The shrugging burst and then the long ball forward. Did well Walker. Tui happy to find the boundary line.
Keep the meter, Dean.
Not many spare seats there, are there? Almost 39,000 here tonight. Curnow to Judd. He was always going to be hot, Judd. Carazzo, funny little handball. Something out of the playground. There's Judd. Yaron. Curnow, watch. Yaron trying to get forward of the ball. Schofield's in front of him this time. So now the Blues can go. They go long and deep to McLean. McLean!
Well, you wouldn't pick Brock McLean in a one-on-one marking contest against Darren Glass too often, and he's incredibly brave, that man on screen there, but he legitimately can't lift one arm.
I reckon he's coming off the ground, Das. I reckon he's had enough. I reckon he's decided that he can't go on with that shoulder.
Just couldn't get his arm up at all there.
You're right, Richo. He is coming from the ground, Glass.
I reckon McLean out marking him would have convinced him that it's not right.
Enough's enough.
Yeah.
McLean is directly in front, only 25 metres out. In he comes, kicks the goal for the Blues, their 5th in a row.
He's having a really good night, Brock McLean. when you can go forward and take a mark, kick a goal like that. But he's up to 20 disposals, but it's been his efficiency tonight. He's covering the ground really well. He's been pushing into space, pushing forward like that. He's come straight off the ground after kicking that goal. Deserves a rest, and as we said before, he's really turned his career around in the last 12 months.
Dr. Peter Larkins looks like glass has finally succumbed, Doc.
Well, that's the West Coast doctor talking to him there. He brought himself off the ground. The doctor gave him a minute or two to think about it. Now they're having a chat. But, look, he certainly can't play with two arms tonight, so he's got to make a decision on that.
All right, let's watch for that vest. We get the feeling that that might be happening very, very shortly. 27 minutes since West Coast have kicked a goal now. And here's Garlett. What a pickup. How clean were his hands.
That is outstanding. To run at full pace like that and pick the ball up off your ankles. It's a dangerous time now for the West Coast Eagles. They're under siege. It's nearly out to 5 goals. They've got to get the next goal now.
West Coast really need to get some of their run going. Shannon Hearns had no impact due to the job Dennis Arnfield's been able to do. And also Andrew Gaff has only had the 6 possessions. Ed Curnow's done the job on him. They need to get those 2 guys into the game. They provide a lot of their run.
So they called play on again then for Scott Selwood, and he'd done nothing.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
So Cox has got a free here. Right on that Chris Mainwaring wing.
We had a good coaching job tonight, I think, from Mick Moldhouse and the Carlton coaching staff. There was a couple of other matchups there. Armfielders are tagging forward. Lingy just mentioned it's taken Shannon Hearn out of the game. Right across the ground, they've got one-on-one jobs being done, and it feels to me as though they're on top in almost every spot.
Lacroix driving ball forward. Here's Kennedy. Did it work? I thought he almost marked it down low. Umpire said no. It hit the deck. Curnow under pressure, but bad spot. This is Lacroix.
This will test his distance. We know how accurate he can be.
What do you reckon, Richo?
Yeah, he's going to have to kick it nearly 60, isn't he?
What do you reckon,
55.
Richo?
Yeah, I'm just getting to that, Brian.
Yes or no, Richo?
Yes, yes.
Lacroix comes in 52 metres out. It's a no, Richo. Don't know why you fall for that.
Well, you've rushed me. I was sort of going through a process, and you've rushed me into a decision I didn't want to make.
Josh, please.
A decision you didn't want to make.
I didn't.
Play on.
Oh, boy.
Yours.
Low ball from Gibbs. Shuey got in the way of it. That's a throw.
Play on.
I hate that when an umpire comes towards you and he doesn't look at you. You want some contact with him. Here is Cripps trying to crash through. Kennedy there as well. It's desperate. The Eagles are desperate for their next goal here. Haven't kicked one since the 9-minute mark of the second quarter.
They have, but they look sloppy again there, BT.
Body's
There was,
going everywhere. You fall forward, Scott.
so listen to the umpire say,
Keep the
look,
meter, please. Keep the meter. Keep the meter.
give us a bit of space, but that was a kick inside 50 that should have hit the target again from the West Coast Eagles, but been pretty poor so far tonight.
Play on.
Rowe overran it. Marston had a real crack at it. Brennan swings onto the left boot, kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Josh, 5 moves from the line, please. Thank you. Cross that line before you change direction, Andrew.
Talked about the Yarran bounces. His personal best is 18 bounces in a game. He had 10 in one quarter. The clubhouse leader is Heath Shaw, 19 of recent times.
Hearn can wind up from 70. This will lift the Eagles' spirits, but it won't.
Josh, back to the meter. Back to the 5.
One of the rare occasions he's been able to get a
Play on.
free kick with Dennis all over him.
So 3 goals, 16 tonight, West Coast, and for the entire match last week, 27-15. What's happened to the scoring? It's dried up. 27 goals to 3 in comparison to 3 this week. Where has it gone? Carlton have managed it. Here he is again. Yarran, I tell you what, if he gets past the next one, he's gone as well. He wanted Hampson to come and shepherd, and Hampson didn't. He ran away from him. Oh, boy. Murphy to Gibbs. 55 metres out. Horrible looking kick off the boot.
Yeah, he just needed... Hampson was trying. He was trying to shepherd.
But he was saying, no, I think he actually wanted him to come a little closer to Yaron so then Yaron could slip by.
I think poor old Hampso was just shepherding the wrong side of the body there. He was shepherding him in to where Yaron wanted to run. And Eric McKenzie, he was the most nervous player on the ground there. He thought, if he goes past me, good luck getting him back.
He's embarrassed a few tonight, Chris Yaron. Here's Scotland. Very efficient on his non-preferred side, as you'll see here. High ball in, Garlett underneath it. Did well backing back Selwood, Hearn. So the Eagles inch their way out of trouble here.
This is what they've done really well. Richo mentioned Dennis Harmfield's job on Shannon Hearn. Their forward pressure is creating opportunities. And again here.
Rowe to Robinson. Robinson on the left gets another. 6 in a row for the Blues.
Mitch Robinson gets on the end of it, but they're just more desperate tonight. They're running across the ground better, they're working harder, and their pressure is better. They've defended well inside their own defensive 50. They haven't allowed as many inside 50s as they had in the first 3 games, and it's been an improved team defensive effort that's got them into this position tonight, and they've got the more dangerous forwards on the ground.
Well, John Worsfold tonight's coaching against his former coach. He was captain of the West Coast Eagles and won premierships. At the moment, he is getting out-coached and hasn't got a winner anywhere on the ground. He needs to change things up. He's got to try something different.
So what's the most obvious of those tasks, do you think, of the being out-coached here tonight?
Just the one-on-one matchups. He's been dictated to by Mick Moldhouse. Shannon Hearns is running across half-back. He hasn't been able to get him into the game. Daniel Kerr has had no impact so far at all. Prittis, his main ball winner, we haven't seen any impact. His big forwards as well, Kennedy and Darling, haven't looked like they're going to kick goals. So he just needs, I think, a change of position. He needs to throw the side around a little bit, see if he can shake this one-on-one style of matchup that Mick Moldhouse has gone with.
That man has reappeared, Dr. Peter Larkins. Glass.
Yeah, Darren Glass, he's gone back on after 3 or 4 minutes of getting a breath, a bit of pain relief. He's back out there, so you can't doubt his courage, but I don't think he's effective.
Play on.
I wonder why he would keep going, unless they're just trying to buy another 10 or 15 minutes before they release the sub, boys.
Yeah, well, the big difference is Carlton's fleet-footed small forwards, and you look down the other end, and there's 3 tools down there at the moment, Darling, Kennedy and Sinclair, and they haven't been able to get many goals from play, so maybe throw the forward line around, put Lacroix at full forward one out for 10 minutes, see if he can kick a couple.
Yeah, they sort of almost...
Lucas around the corner, snap, misses.
As Lucas misses that one. It almost looks a little bit too top-heavy at the moment, their forward structure. You've got Kennedy, who Henderson's doing a good job on. You've got Darling and Jamison's on top of Darling. And then you've got the big boy in Callum Sinclair. I'm with you. I reckon Lacroix looks the most likely at the moment. So why not give him some space, as you said, Richo, 30 metres out from goal.
Good kick here. Lingy, what do you think you'd do if you're the Eagles at the moment?
Yeah, well, I think you need the speed, you need the run. Maybe the forward line is too big. They thought they'd had the advantage there. Get some smalls there. Get some nippy, quick, sort of small forwards up there. I reckon it's time to get Brad Dalziel on the ground. Make a sub off a big guy. Get Dalziel on the ground. From what I've heard in the waffle, he's been absolutely dominating. He's been playing really good quality footy. He might provide that little bit of run for West Coast. So change things up a little bit.
You have a big night in Sydney last night, Lingy. You're just starting to fade off there with the voice a bit, mate.
No, not at all, BT. I wasn't celebrating at all.
Here they go. Kennedy rubs off, dishes to Lacroix, around the corner. There's the breaker. Can the Eagles get things going now?
Well, Mark Lacroix, the man Richo that you pointed out, and said he's the most dangerous. Try and create some space and some more opportunities. Dean Cox comes to the bench. I think they came into the game and just thought, we'll get on top of the midfield and then we'll be too strong in the air. That hasn't eventuated, so maybe it's time to look at a different style. And I think we've seen him kick 13 in a game before. He'll be finding some space for Lacroix.
There's Kennedy getting it across to Lacroix. A sharpshooter doesn't need a lot of opportunities. We know he can kick a big bag. He's kicked 12 in a game. Eddie had one night against the Bombers a few years ago. I'd get him isolated inside that forward 50.
Not sure. Wouldn't mind having a look to see whether he actually handballed that then, Kennedy. But they have the goal. It's taken 35 minutes since their last goal. And I think they're very much in the hunt here, the Eagles. 28 points down. Plenty left, plenty of upside left in them, Das.
Oh, they're more than capable of winning this game, the West Coast Eagles. It's going to take a lot.
You and Richo are riding them off. but I think they're very, very capable.
We're just suggesting that maybe they need a little bit of a change-up to change the momentum of this game.
Murphy into the pocket. Flew Hampson, went hard at it. Judd was coming across the face. Butler with a little clearing kick.
He's back on glass.
There is Superman. He's unbelievable.
He's going to be that sore tomorrow.
Tell you who's Clark Kent, that goal umpire up the other end. Have a look at him. Free kick. It's just starting to get a roll. You can feel it, you can hear it, you can see it, Das.
Yeah, and this huge crowd, they'll respond.
Darling, it just needs one touch of brilliance.
Oh, gee, he just rushed it a little bit.
Gee.
I think he thought he was hotter than what he was and could have run in and nearly...
Oh, Gibbs' handball was a shocker.
Gee. Walker made that handball look a lot better than it was. And Simpson living dangerously, the Blues. McLean now is really hot. So composed with the footy, the modern-day players. Something they practice a lot of, decision-making. Here's Tui through traffic. Look at this. It's not pretty. Eventually they cough it up, though. Shuey to Predis, he's gone. I couldn't stick the tackle. And now Kerr, little side burner. Lightning handball to Shuey. Shuey needs to ram it home and he's missed.
It doesn't help when you kick 4-17 in 2.5 quarters of football. That is never going to win you games of football. But that passage of play would be the one John Werso will be jumping up and down, getting excited about. So where's our forward pressure? Where's creating that extra handball for Carlton, which they did then and turned the footy over? That's why I think they need to go a bit smaller in their forward line to just keep applying that squeeze that they had in the first quarter when they got a bit of momentum.
Lingy, do you feel like the momentum's starting to swing a little?
Certainly is, BT. And they're able to do this. They're keeping the ball in their forward half of the ground. You mentioned the forward pressure. It's been fantastic.
Hearn to Kennedy. Needs to juke it a bit better than that. McLean now into open space. It's a foot race back. Schofield, one of the best runners in the world, according to the sources. I won't name them. Here's Garlett. Through the middle. He's got space, but he's got about 3 eagles he's got to beat. Here goes Yaron. Yaron's got out of the loop. Oh, boy. McKenzie's going to chase him down. Does he get a good bounce? Has he got the ball? No. He gets the free, Yaron. They were worried about it.
That's the difference tonight is Garlett and Yaron. Once it gets forward to centre, their ability, they've worried the Eagles defenders, and McKenzie just panicked because of the dangerous stuff this man's been doing.
This tackle for a career-high 4 goals for Chris Yaron. All of them have been great. In he comes, he kicks the goal. Back out to a 33-point lead for the Blues.
There they are. They haven't got their third little mate down there, Eddie Betts, tonight, but, gee, they're dangerous. They are so dangerous when there's space to run into, and Jeffy's only kicked the 1 goal. Yaron's got 4, but he's had 5 inside 50s, Jeff Garlett, and he's just looking dangerous. He's creating opportunities.
Well, it's been this makeshift forward line for Carlton that's done all the damage. There's Yaron now in the goal square. Judd's rolled through full forward. Little Jeffy Garlett as well. The leg speed, as you pointed out, Richo, has been the thing that has really caused West Coast all the trouble.
Kerr with the clearance out of the middle to Hams. Ashton Hams turns around on the left, tries to respond. Darling! Will he run on the left and play on? Well, no one's guarding it.
Did that well. Did that really well, Jamison.
Stay there.
Now, this will be a right foot banana. Setting up for the right foot banana. This will be a good goal. Darling makes it look easy and he threads the needle beautifully.
Well, that was a great centre clearance to answer the Chris Yaron goal. Hams played on. I reckon he was having a go at goal, but Darling was able to take the mark. And gee, the modern-day player thinks through those situations so well now. Whether they go into their left leg and snap it around or go the right foot banana. He did that really well, Jack Darling. Something they practice in training so much now.
Little fumble there from Chris Judd, the centre clearance, and a barrel off one step pass to Ashton Hams from Kerr, if you don't mind. We saw the finish from Jack Darling.
Kicked 2 of the last 3 here, the Eagles. Robinson down there towards Hampson, being pursued by Schofield. Both go to the ground in the end. I reckon tonight with Yarran, it's the most apparent difference in speed between players that I've seen. You know, it's been exposed to its maximum.
Andrew, let him stand up.
It's such a long ground. He's had so much room to work into. The longest ground in the competition. It really suits him over here.
It's obviously something Mick Moldhouse has identified because he played all last year at half-back, Chris Yarran.
Don't reckon he liked him there. Don't reckon he liked him in the contest, Ars.
Yep.
And I reckon until he gets more competitive. But he's been great up forward, being a bit of an opportunist. Here's Hampson. McKenzie. Marston is set up here. Lucas tries to hold him. Hill, who's been really, really quiet tonight. Scotland went and got it. Judd kept the arms free. Kerr ran over the top. Warnock went and got it. Here they go again, the Blues. Now the Eagles arrive in some big numbers. Judd. Strength getting it out. They're out of the loop here, the Eagles. If Hill can do something, and he can, picks it up. Little right foot banana. Wasn't that creative? Now Gaff needs to line up. Will he take the man on? Yes, he does. Now he needs to be sure of the kick to the open goal square. The Eagles are back in business. Back to 21 points.
Yeah, great call, BT. They're back in business all right, and it doesn't take much here for a momentum swing with the crowd behind you. And always going to have to play 4 quarters to beat a good side like this. Bit of space, bit of extra run. You can't keep a side with this ability at home down for a whole game. Now it's up to the Blues to respond.
It was this kick here from Hill. He had nothing ahead of him, but great vision to see Gaff on the right-hand side there, and he did it well, finished off beautifully, but there was some 50-50 balls on Carlton's half-forward line, and the Eagles got out and made them pay.
Boy, oh boy, wowee, what about this? They've kicked 3 of the last 4, and they're down by just 21, and I feel, Lingy, you and I were on board the momentum shift.
Absolutely, BT. And you see that running play through the middle of the ground for West Coast is getting going.
Oh,
we were spot on, BT, of course.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Look, worried about our man Lingy down there.
Lingy's nodded off down there.
He was seen with a couple of his old Geelong teammates last night in Sydney.
Yeah. I don't know what you blokes are on at all up there.
There's Judd. What do you think Lingy has probably overextended himself in the last 24 hours? Here's Carazzo, Garland, Armfield. Back to Carazzo, cool in the middle. Here's Murphy with a bit of space. Kick was too high for him. Allowed Selwood to come over. This is a 3-on-2. The Eagles' way now. A real opportunity for them to go forward. Gaff gathers. No, he can't. Did well, Murphy, without infringing. And a free kick back in the middle will go West Coast way.
The Blues have got to get numbers back now. The ball's 50 metres away. They've got to get as many numbers back and clog up that Eagles forward 50.
See them get tired late in quarters.
Lingy, possible sub coming up, you reckon?
Yes, Brad Dalziel has got the vest off. He's up waiting, but they haven't brought anyone off yet. I'll keep you posted.
There's Darling on the lead, and he's taken the mark. Surely it'll be glass.
Richo standing alongside of me, and he's just waving to Carlton midfielders going push back into the space. You can see it up here. I just don't think they've got the legs late in quarters on this big ground, and all the space inside 50 was just too easy there, Richo.
Gee, that was a nice kick, though. He identified the space in front of Darling and almost kicked it before Darling started the lead, and we've talked about that before, BT. That's perfect.
There is a Dalziel coming onto the ground as a sub. This will be their 3rd goal in red time of time on here, if successful for Darling. So it does back you guys up, starting to fade. Long ball, distance is there, accuracy is not. So Lingy just confirming that sub for us. Who's out?
Yes, Brad Dalziel on. Jamie Cripps is off.
Gee, so they've taken the gamble on glass.
Thank you.
A critical last couple of minutes coming up here in the context of this game. West Coast are really starting to come big time here now, and the Blues appear to be tiring. Here's Yaron. Marston doesn't want to go at him, so he just corralled him. Didn't want him going past. We're all fearful of that. Scott Selwood now to Pritis. Pritis to Selwood again. Here's Marston. Checked the kick, went long. Darling was nudged under by Jamison. Beautifully done.
Yeah, used his hips, didn't use his hands. That was a great bit of defensive marking by Jamison.
Bryce Gibbs. A ball out towards Rowe that was cut off by Glass. Shoulder being tested again. Rowe was caught. Bullock the handball out. In comes Murphy. Went and got it. Not many others wanted to. Near the boundary line. Snuck another 15 metres for his side. Really well done. 1:39 remaining in the third quarter. Hill again. Starting to find a little bit of space around that centre square area.
Gee, that was an important mark by Lacroix.
Gets it over the top to Marston. Has he got the legs? There's no one between he and the 50 line. He goes, no, I'll kick it. Oh boy, Jack tried to mark it on the chest. Get the Dukes out. Kennedy didn't have it. Should have got a free. And now Jamison. 1 minute and a quarter remaining. Kerr from the impossible angle. The 50-metre line and the boundary line. He's kicked the goal. And the Eagles are back in business. 14 points down.
Oh, big play. With a minute to go before three-quarter time, he's been reasonably quiet, Daniel Kerr. 18 disposals, that's his first goal. He's a freak of a player. He had options in board, Richo. He could have chipped one short. He said, don't worry about it. I'm good enough to do it on my own.
He had the big fella in the goal square. You have a look at this when he gathers this ball. Jamison, he tried really hard there. He had about 3 defensive efforts in a row, but that nearly had to go through. And that was magnificent because Big Sinclair was on his own in the goal square for a little while there.
3 goals in time on for a rampaging West Coast Eagles, who now trail by just over 2 goals.
Stepped into his line, blocked him from running the ball.
Heard the umpire. Robinson needs to find someone. Here's Rowe underneath it. Glass did well. In front row, he's taken the mark. I thought Glass had done well. He says, I punched it.
Yeah, he thinks that he touched it with his right arm, Glassy, but I've got no doubt if Darren Glass's shoulder was okay, he would have been able to spoil that. He's really struggling.
Richo, just quickly, Mick Malthouse down on the bench down here. He'd be happy with rotating that mark, but he is absolutely ropeable. He's giving his players a massive spray. He wants them focused. He doesn't want to be conceding goals in time on in this quarter.
Big opportunity here. Look at the clock. 16 seconds and ticking. Rowe in desperate need of a goal, the Blues, to stop this rampage. And that will not work. There's Clark Kent, the goal umpire.
Clark Kent.
Have a look at him. Best prepared young goal umpire I've seen.
He's in immaculate order, isn't he, the umpire? He's rating really heavily down there.
So West Coast just need to go easy here. Mick Malthouse is furious. He says to Brad Green, get up there and check whatever it is that needs to be checked. He is absolutely right. This is a coach that has not got a win yet.
No, he wants this, Mick.
He's desperate, absolutely desperate.
Poor old Brad Green's just sucking the big ones in too. He's on the receiving end, and that's what you get. He brings intensity, Mick Malthouse.
I love it.
He just wants this more than you can possibly imagine.
Well, got out to 33 points in that quarter, Das. Now just 15 points. Malthouse has gone out there, and you get the feeling he's going to rip 1 or 2. He asks a couple of questions. Stay with us. It's going to be on the other side of the break. 7:18:60 to 10:15:75. Let's get down to Cameron Ling.
Yeah, thanks, BT. You saw the footage of Mick just before the three-quarter time break there. He came down the bench and he let his players know that he was really disappointed with their effort of conceding goals late. But what annoyed him most at the end was to his assistant coaches and his staff. He wanted to know the time. He wanted to know how long there was to go in the quarter, and nobody could tell him, and he was absolutely filthy about it.
All right, we'll start of the last quarter. Carlton by 15 points. Kerr. A lot of players around this to start the last quarter. And What have Carlton got left in the legs here? What can they generate? They looked absolutely tired as the end of the third. Here's Tui.
He's been good in the one-on-ones, Jamison.
Hearn. Judd. Knocked to Lucas. Could have almost squirted it back to Judd. Carazzo gets one down the line that works. It's still in play.
Let's stay.
Judd pointed to Armfield and said, come on, mate. It's still in. That was a boomerang. Come back in after going out in the air. Chris Judd pointed to, who was it, Lucas, to say, go and get it, mate.
Yeah, he did. The matchups, let's have another look at that. Looked like it was going out. Dennis thought it was going out, but it bounced the other way. The matchups in that first centre bounce, Kerr, Judd, Selwood and Carazzo again, and Chewy and Murphy.
Judd. 2-on-1 back there. Schofield. It's a high ball. Josh Hill did well.
Just still keeping my eye on Chris Judd, and I know when he has a quiet game, we probably look for reasons that maybe aren't there sometimes, but he started in the middle. He only had about a 50 or 60 metre effort, and then he really had his hands on his hips, and you just see around the contest at the moment, he hasn't got the second, third, fourth efforts that he normally has.
Hill starting to find a bit of life for the Eagles.
Yeah, a couple of good tackle efforts in a row.
Darling ignored the lead of Gaff, went a little bit longer to Kennedy. Simpson spinning pirouette out of trouble, couldn't trap it. Judd. Darling had the ball pinned, but still able to work it to Pritis. LeCras got rid of one, spun into another. Gone. Jeffy Garlett sees something wide he likes, and why not? Big ball here. This from White. Down towards Hampson. Trying to knock it out in favour of Yaron. It eventually comes out to Rowe.
Gee, I reckon Brennan is the most nervous man on the ground when Carlton win a ball through the middle. He's got the match up on Yaron. He did really well then. He bodied Yaron up, and that's what you have to do. You have to body him up. You can't let him have a free run at the footy.
Eagles need to be really tight here. Pritis. Gee, that was well done by Gibbs to hold Darling under the fall of the ball. Just popping this one high to the dangerous spot. Let them all line up. Gee, Hampson flew high at the back. Yaron just paddles the ball. Eventually it went over.
Got goal side again nearly there, didn't he? She's dangerous tonight.
Warnock down to Robinson. Shuey caught with the ball now. This will be an interesting decision. I think they're going to... No, luckily it spilled out. Otherwise, I reckon he was gone. Even though I don't reckon he had prior opportunity. LeCras to Glass. Glass is kicked. Now look at it. Armfield running after it. He really wants it.
Yeah, great pressure to start the final quarter here from Carlton. They've been able to lay some good tackles, keep the ball inside their forward half of the ground. Just in the red time quarters of both quarters to start the game, they've got tired, so I reckon they need to get some score early.
Walker runs around to lessen the angle. It's a good effort.
It's a great effort.
Really, really good effort.
Yeah, it's a big goal to start the final quarter. It just keeps the crowd silenced down and puts some more pressure back on John Worsfold, the West Coast coach's box. And what I was trying to say is that I think as the quarter goes on, they'll get tired. So they really would like a nice scoring buffer and then just try and hang on for life.
Had some good last quarters already this year, the Blues. Kicked 5 goals to zip against Richmond and 4 goals to 1 against Geelong. And here they are with the first of the last again.
Play on.
Ball bounce by the umpire, not reeled back in. Selwood off hands Garland. Now can he damage with this foot? He goes for the vacant goal square. Getting back now was Armfield, and off hands.
She's done a good job on Hearn. Hearn's only had the 7 touches, efficiency of 43%. So when he's got it, he's been under huge pressure from Dennis Armfield, and Mick would be wrapped with his job tonight.
Cox in front here. And this one will be balled up again as it's pinned under Lacroix with that heavily strapped arm. You can see that he broke. He looked decidedly uncomfortable with it last week. He looks better with it this week, I've got to say. Why wouldn't he? A week of confidence. Sinclair.
It's a little bit to like about Callum Sinclair. He's had some kicking troubles, but he's been good in the air.
Hill to Kennedy. Another touch for Hill. Look at the run to space. It's the subs, Dalziel. They ignore him. He wants it in the goal square in front of him. Eventually Marston does it, but that kick was never going to be long enough. Dalziel at the back marks, but as he nudged, the umpire said no. He thought he had. He looked nervously.
Bryce Gibbs is glaring back at the umpire. Have a look at this. It's just a little nudge under the footy. That goes either way these days. I mean, I personally would like to see that paid as a mark every time, but I think it's a toss of the coin sometimes whether that's paid as a push.
You've seen less paid, but yeah, I'm with you, Darsh. You don't want those to be paid.
Dalziel was surprised.
I think he thought Kennedy was going to touch it.
The starting sub tonight, here he is. Should have been into him earlier. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. 7 goals, 19 tonight, West Coast.
That was Darling, sorry, coming back with a flight, not Kennedy.
That's a good use of the sub, and well done to Brad Dalziel. If you come on in the last quarter, you want to gut run your absolute heart out, and that's what he did on Bryce Gibbs. He ran him almost 150-metre arc there, and he's got to use that fresh legs and see if you can just cover the ground a bit better, given you haven't played for 3 quarters.
Judd. Schofield on top of him. Curnow did well with just pure strength to work it out. Tui tries to do likewise. A little drop kick along the ground from Tui. Gaff driven forward. Schofield's got to do it all again. It came back into his territory. Fast hands to McLean. So the West Coast Eagles will go forward yet again. Who can get there? Robinson's got to stand under it. Couldn't reel it in. Henderson went hard at it, but they've coughed it up. Shuey to Marston. Marston to Selwood. Selwood looking for some space. No one deep enough for the West Coast to mark it. They're all under. Simpson. Great handball from him. Under real pressure.
Hey, Lee, Aaron Joseph, the sub for Carlton. No sign of him yet. Is there any chance of him warming up? When do you think they'll bring him on?
No, just doing light stuff to keep pretty mobile, Das. I'd say they bring him on in another 5 or 10 minutes. I reckon he'll play a bit of a shutdown role on any of the dangerous West Coast players who could possibly get them back into this game to just really kill the game.
Interesting thoughts from Cameron Ling there. Normally you would think they'd go on and want to run, but it makes a lot of sense. Henderson and Kennedy. And the focal point tonight is Kennedy.
He's a bit partial to a shutdown role, Lingy. We've got to declare that.
What a boring life he's had, just shutting down player after player.
Made a fairly reasonable career out of it, Brian, it's fair to say.
Yeah, he probably did.
Keep that meter, Callum.
Doesn't like being referred to as Mr. Negative, our Lingy, does he? There's Shuey. Selwood and Sinclair. Garlett's got him. Just touched boot with ball. Darling did really well.
Darling didn't dispose of that ball then. They let that go now, don't they?
What about those 3 efforts from Jeffrey Garlett? There he is. Great to see him using his leg speed for defensive pursuits. Mick Moldhouse will love going through his tape this week. He's shepherding that chase from behind. A couple of great tackles. He's played really well tonight.
Shuey at the back door to Adam Selwood. So they've locked it in their half of the ground now for a good 3 or 4 minutes, haven't they, West Coast? Haven't looked all that dangerous in that 3 or 4 minutes, though.
Only conceded 61 points, 41 inside 50s, so they've really picked up their defensive efforts all over the ground tonight, Carlton.
Prittis. He was aiming for the left foot banana from there, I reckon. Went across the face of the goal. Dalziel chases.
When you spoke coming into this game about Carlton conceding 100 points 3 games in a row, and you're talking, Richo, about their defence improving. Well, their defence tonight has started in the forward pocket, with the whole ground applying pressure right across, and that's helped Jamison, it's helped Henderson, it's helped all their back half.
Oh, his arm's locked in, his arm's locked in.
Making sure there's been pressure on the ball all the way across the ground.
Hey, listen, 20-point lead at the moment for the Blues is nothing when this game busts open. It's a surprise it hasn't already bust open, Richo, with so many tired players out there. I'm wondering whether it will in this quarter. We just keep going at this pace. Will they start to find space?
I still think there's been a pattern of the Carlton players looking more tired, being scored heavily against in red time each quarter. So this game's still well within the reach of the West Coast Eagles.
Absolutely. Tui. They've had it locked in here for 5 minutes now. West Coast.
They have. They've just got to get some scoreboard pressure on. The Blues are out now.
They are. The advantage is paid, but look at this.
McKenzie's back. That's why McLean is sort of slowing down a little bit and waiting.
And that's why they have to prop and stop here like Murphy is now. Really didn't have a lot to kick to. Hearn's got to go at it. Did well. Armfield there. Richo's already said what a good job he's done tonight, Armfield, on that matchup.
Terrific job.
Finally, they work it to their half-forward line, the Blues.
Sean Hampson kicked the metre. Free kick, West Coast. He didn't kick the metre, Sean. Too close to him, kick the metre.
Got to keep the metre apart in the ruck contest.
What do you think about that, Das, as a ruckman?
Do you like a massive rap at all for that role? I mean, it's just so technical. Who was there first? Who was there second? You'd hate to see crucial decisions like that played late in the game. I just...
Josh Hill again coming to the game. This is not a great kick over the top.
Does it take anything away from
I think
the art of ruck work?
In principle, it makes sense to stand apart, but just play a free kick. If one ruckman pushes or wrestles, it's the way the game was always umpired. When you've got to turn up the contest, now who's a metre apart now? Who's closed the gap? It's so open to interpretation. I just fear for more pressure on the umpires.
And again nudged under the ball by Armfield. Armfield so used to, Hearn so used to doing what he likes to do tonight. He's been targeted. Here's Sinclair. Sees something up the line he's liked, and tell you what, they've got a couple going here, the Eagles. Marston was on. Dalziel ignored that. He just drew Kerr to the ball. Nice little foot pass. They've got a 2-on-1 deep, but he goes short to Kennedy as Tui dropped off, and Kennedy's very capable from this distance.
Yeah, Curry disguised that well. It looked like he was winding up for the long kick to the goal square, and he pulled the kick at the last minute.
And this spot on the ground is where the Eagles do a lot of set shot practicing. It's just near their race, just before they go in after training or before training. So he will know exactly from here what he needs to do, Kennedy. It's on the way. Good looking ball, right on the line, touched.
Well done, Hampson. The ruckman, that's his job. Get back on the line, touch it through. Gee, coaches hate it when they don't, when they let it go through on the line like that. Did his job, Hampson.
7 goals, 20 tonight for the Eagles. Carlton Simpson. Kick will be gobbled up here by Brennan. Looks inside, nothing there. Has to just go long down the line. Sinclair comes at it. Off hands, picked up by Simpson of Carlton. Free kick will go to him.
Let him up, let him up. It's in the back. It's in the back.
Kennedy saying I was lying on his side. Pretty lucky decision there, I reckon.
It's a big Dean Cox about to come back onto the ground. One of his quieter nights, only 8 disposals for Coxie. He's good for at least double that most of the time.
Here's Murphy. Advances the ball forward again now. Garlett and Yarran are both here side by side. Garlett keeps it alive. He knocks it on for Yarran. They were nearly out of the loop there. So nearly out of the loop. Free kick will go to, I think, Chris Yarran.
I think it was It was Garlett initially. Did well, kept it in.
Holding his arm.
Mackenzie's thinking, oh no, so he's grabbed him.
Well,
So the free kick was Garlett's.
this should be Garlett's kick, not Yaron's.
Maybe he's played downfield potentially.
He didn't call play on from the original Garlett free kick, though, did he?
I think they've got it wrong. I just think that it's a case of mistaken identity here.
Well, I think this kick favours Yaron. I'd rather have it in Yaron's hands from this part of the ground.
Yeah.
Already kick 4.
What a beautiful picture that is. Right behind Chris Yaron as he lines up for this critical goal from 50 metres out. No left to right there.
Well, in the end, Mackenzie probably nearly did the right thing, giving away a free, because Jeff was gone then. He would have run into an open goal nearly.
Play on.
So, Lingy, the change has been made by the Blues.
Yes, Carlton have just made their sub. Aaron Joseph is coming on. The big fella, Sean Hampson, is... No, oh, sorry, I'll take that back. It looked like it was going to be Sean Hampson. I'll get back to you with who it's going to be. But at the moment, Joseph has got the vest off.
So a 50-metre penalty. Dan Cox comes back on.
Cox long. 3 Carlton players get back. Henderson.
They will.
Just to update you, BT, Simon White it is, has actually got the red vest now, not Sean Hampson. So Aaron Joseph is into the game, or he's just waiting here, keen to get out there. There's only, what, 8 minutes to go. He's had to wait all night. I think he's keen to get on the field.
Keep an eye on him, Lingy, and see whether he does go to that negative role that you suggested. Here's Marston.
Outcome of this game, BT, is massive for both sides. West Coast don't want to give up home victories because that wouldn't have been part of their plan at all. But the difference for Carlton's year to be 1-3 as opposed to 0-4 is massive. 1-3, get a bit of momentum, an interstate win. It sounds silly, but the year suddenly looks back on track. They play Adelaide next week at the MCG, and then they've got Melbourne. So
they had a tough start, 1-3, and then the next 2 weeks, very winnable games. All of a sudden, you're 3-3.
West Coast got a bit of an easier run coming up. Port, Western Bulldogs, Brisbane, North, GWS. They'll be expected to win a good portion of those. But a win here would be nice for them. Lacroix. Carazzo, a bit of a no-look at it. Lucas. Glass gets back much on the chest. So can West Coast find a way through?
all of a sudden, Port Adelaide at AAMI Stadium in South Australia, there's nothing easy about that at the moment. They're undefeated.
Shuey, short ball to Glass. They just can't find any space at all in this area of the ground. Hearn goes the talk that's got a bit of distance for him. Kennedy crashes the party. Little kicker on the ground, saved by Robinson.
Don't underestimate Dennis Armfield's impact on tonight's game as tagging forward. We've hardly called Shannon Hearn's name at all tonight, and every time it's been under enormous pressure.
Jamison did well from Sinclair. So we get down to the last 6 minutes. Time is now an issue for the West Coast Eagles. Jamison down the line. Punch away there by Mackenzie. 6 minutes left. Just over 3 goals required. Schofield looks a little sore. Cox in there, as Richo suggested, a quiet night by his standards. There's the man of the night, Chris Yaron. Butler doesn't really want it to come out of there.
Thanks, Brock. Thanks, Brock.
Over the back, Lacroix. A little bit of space. There's Sinclair. Couldn't hold the mark that he really needed to hold in the end. Tui just pumps it back same place. That's Seth Glass. Still can't get the hands above the head, but that's good enough. Short to Scott Selwood. He's away. Sees Ashton Hams on over the top. Hams couldn't hold the mark. Gaff's now got to get hold of it. Got it back to Hams. Just looking a little more menacing here. Here's Kennedy. Henderson in front. Did well. Dalziel wants deliberate. That can't possibly be deliberate. Not even he knew where it was going.
Yep, 5 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in this game. It's West Coast who have just looked flat all night. They've been incredibly inaccurate. 7 goals, 21. But there hasn't been a real spark. Scott Selwood's probably the one real exception. No credit to Carlton. They've got their matchups right. Been a really one-on-one game, and if they can persevere for another 5 minutes,
Yep.
it's a big win.
No goal either way in the last 16 minutes for either side here as the ball goes over the line. So Mick Malthouse looking like he can get victory #1 for the Blues.
Yeah, he certainly does. And look at the genius Lingy. Joseph's come on, arm across Kerr.
Boundary throw in, Cox. Marston to Gaff. Might ask all of you, how do West Coast win it from here, guys? There's 4.5 minutes left. Is there anything obvious to you guys that they can do?
Yeah, only the things that we've spoken about, and it's probably not John Worsfold's strength. I mean, he's a fantastic premiership coach, but what he does is he perseveres, he keeps the same message. I'd love to have seen them just kamikaze play on the way Geelong play and reel and go, take risks through the corridor. That's where you're at now with 4.5 minutes to go and needing 3 goals. You've just got to say, all right, we'd rather lose by 6 and just play on right across the ground.
Simpson drops a chest mark into Darling and conceding Henderson there. Good decision by him.
At the end of the day, though, when you kick 21 points, it's always going to be tough to win. Just
Joseph the sub, who's in the game for the Blues.
Blues have only had 40 inside 50s. That's a really low number. Just being more efficient forward of centre, and that's one of the biggest differences tonight.
Butler didn't know what to do in the end. Judd was really good in that one. He has another crack here, Chris Judd. Cox out the back, Selwood a little tap handball. Out of mid-air was Glass, Gibbs likewise. Now Mackenzie's got to go. Beautiful tap to Glass. Glass under real pressure now. Here they are. Look at the dynamic duo. Chris Yarran faked the handball. Look at the kick from Yarran. Got it to Hampson. Great control off a step from Chris Yarran.
So there you go. They get inside 50 again. 27 scoring shots from 41 entries. Just made the most of it when they have got forward. Whereas the West Coast have butchered the ball.
Well, this kick makes a certain win for the Blues. He can nail it right shut here. Hampson will kick it from about 48 metres out. It's a bit of a helicopter. Not quite there in the end. And a minor score. But I think now an 18 or a 19-point lead. An 19-point lead. So they've got to kick 4 goals to win at the Eagles. They can't do that.
Last year for the entire season, only 2 wins for Victorian teams over here in the West. And we've had that already. Essendon beat Fremantle. Hawthorn have beat the West Coast Eagles. And it looks like Carlton are going to knock the West Coast off again here tonight.
They are. Simpson, Judd. Judd turns around. Here's Jeffy Garlett. Tried to nudge Selwood under the footy. Just need to take some time off the clock. If they could just get a mark, the Blues, they could slow this one down. Crowd here tonight of 38,674 people to watch this one. And the Eagles are going to start the season with just 1 win and 3 losses. Likewise for the Blues, but it'll be their first win. It'll be a relieved Mick Malthouse tonight. Joseph to Simpson. Simpson could go all the way here. He can go all the way from 45.
few Carlton supporters have made the trip over to Patersons Stadium. In fact, there's a healthy Carlton crowd as a few West Coast fans decide time to exit. And they start streaming out of Patersons Stadium. This is a really memorable victory for Mick Malthouse. There go the West Coast fans. They've had enough.
Yep, starting to walk the aisles here. Big goal by Simpson. The Blues are going to win. Will Mick Malthouse be in the inner circle and sing the song, Darsk? Does he know the words?
Let's hope he does, because this is a great performance tonight.
Due to be a brave player, though, to throw Powerade all over him. I reckon they'll do that.
Now, Lingy, that will be interesting. Let's watch that. We're going to go down to the rooms for the song. Will they put him in the middle and give him a Powerade shower?
I reckon the only player who could get away with it is Chris Judd, and he's too smart to do that.
LeCras, a driving ball inside 50 for the Eagles. Kennedy, Darling, Gaff along the ground, just the wrong side of the post, so yet another behind for them.
You see Gaff on screen there. I absolutely love the job that Ed Curno's done on him. He's kept him really quiet tonight, just to the 13 possessions. He averaged 24.5 possessions last year. That's a great job by Curno. He's a fantastic athlete. He's from a real athletic family. His sister's a gun runner. He's a fantastic runner. He's done a great job tonight.
A famous family from down Geelong way, Lingy, aren't they?
Yes, certainly are. His dad, in fact, is a celebrant and married one of my great teammates, Brad Ottens.
Lingy always looking to find the Geelong connection.
Just a little bit of trivia there from Levy. Lingy.
I'm just about sick of hearing about his Geelong connections, but anyway, he's all over him. Here's a beautiful centering ball by Gaff to Hill. Kennedy pursues, but make no mistake, this is all about the Blues here tonight. They've been challenged many times in this game, and they've been able to find something. I said before the game, the Blues have won 5 of their past 8 games at this ground. They like the space that it provides, and it's never been more evident than with that man there chasing tonight, Chris Yarran. He found plenty of it and was the difference in this lot tonight. Malthouse takes a quick look at the clock just above his head, and he will be thinking about the words to that song now. Perhaps not, but might be a bit far-fetched, that does.
A little bit, I think, right.
There's Judd, McKenzie back into the West Coast side tonight. Murphy might like one for himself here. In the end, he ran out of tarmac, and it is going to be the Blues who are going to record their first victory of the year. The first victory for that man coaching the Blues. Mick Malthouse gets congratulations from all in the box. It was a famous victory. Let's get down to Cameron Ling. He's with Chris Yarran, the star of the match.
Well, he certainly was the star of the match. You must have enjoyed that one. It's really hard coming over here to get a win, but a fantastic effort by the boys.
Yeah, it's a great effort. To get a win for Mick first 4 rounds in now, so it's just great for the boys to get around. And we played terrific tonight. A real team effort.
And from your own form, career high 4 goals and plenty of bounces. You seem to be really enjoying yourself out there.
Yeah, enjoying the forward line. As long as Eddie keeps staying out, I'll have to play forward. So no rush, Eddie, when you get back. So yeah, I'm loving the opportunity to play forward. So guys like Jeffrey, Sam Rowe's doing really well for himself this year. So it's good to see.
Might have to teach Eddie how to play down back, but it really was a team effort, wasn't it? Everybody really joined in. As you mentioned, Sam Rowe, Sean Hampson up forward. Everybody contributed tonight.
Yeah, it was a real team effort tonight. And like I said, the wins for Mick more importantly, because obviously haven't got a win tonight throughout the year. So yeah, it's good to get a good win.
Well done, mate. Great stuff.
Thanks, buddy.
Chris Yarran serving it up to Eddie Betts and saying, Eddie, you just might not get back in here, mate.
Pretty comfortable down here, says Chris Yarran. And look at Mick, half a smile for Mick. There'll be a bit of relief too. Let's get back down to Cameron Ling.
Well, Brock, that is a good win, isn't it? It's always hard to win here. We know that. West Coast are a quality team, but just a really good team win.
Yeah, just, you know, nothing pretty, but we just grounded out, and it's good to see us play a bit more defensive tonight. You know, the last couple of weeks we've probably, you know, been in shootouts where, you know, it's just been up and back footy, but tonight we were able to get in front early, hang on, and come away with a good win.
Was that the big focus all week at training? Just had to defend better, defend all over the ground?
Yeah, we wanted to go a bit more one-on-one. We knew West Coast liked to get up and get out the back, so, you know, one-on-one footy, there's nowhere to hide, so, and that's what we wanted. We want to be harder on each other, and we thought we did that tonight, but we're not pleased with one win. We want to carry it on.
And some fantastic, almost unsung roles. Ed Curnow, Dennis Arnfield, just doing their job, shutting down really important players for West Coast.
Yeah, that's important for us, you know, each person having a role for the team, and Ed came in and was super. Dennis again, you know, and Shannon Hearn super. So, as I said, we can't rest on that. We, you know, we've got to pick ourselves up and go again next week.
Well done, mate. Go and enjoy yourself.
Thanks again. Cheers.
Looks like almost more relief on the Carlton players' faces, isn't it, than excitement.
Yeah, I
it's
think
a big win.
I think they're out on their feet too, Brian. It's hard to explain just how different it is trying to run a full game out here at Patersons Stadium. They are really, really tired, but they performed superbly. Brock McLean's a great story, leading disposal gatherer for Carlton tonight. I mean, he was absolutely gone his career. You know, as close as 18 months ago, he's found a way to resurrect himself back into senior AFL football.
Mark Murphy's first win as the skipper, Lingy.
It's like a very, very happy man.
Yeah, it's always good travelling on the road and getting a win. So we've had our backs against the walls the last 3 weeks. We've been playing some good footy, just haven't capitalised on our opportunities, and so it was a great full-quarter effort, I thought.
Well, you haven't had those wins, but has the confidence still been high? A lot of belief there that you could still be a really quality team this year and be up the top of the ladder?
Yeah, we've played some quality sides, and we've beaten every game and had our opportunities to win them. So there's been a few areas that we've really worked on in our training, but tonight was, you know, as I said, a really good full-quarter effort, and that's what we need to do against good sides. And
it seems unfairly quite a bit's been spoken about you over the first 3 weeks. How have you coped with that?
Look, I just listen to what Mick's got to say to me. He's been a great support so far, and he's backing me all the way. So, yeah, I've copped a bit, and the team has as well, but, yeah, tonight was a great response.
Well, really enjoyed tonight, mate. Well done.
Excellent.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, well done to Mark Murphy, Bristol. He has been under the pump a little bit, copped a bit of criticism, but he was fantastic tonight. Laid 9 tackles to go with his 28 possessions, so he'll be feeling pretty relieved as well.
He would indeed. Darcer, magnificent effort by Carlton to win away from home here against a really good opponent in the West Coast Eagles, and Mark Murphy will go and enjoy this, his first victory as the Blues skipper. There's Megsy, girlfriend of Sean Hampson, of course. Loves travelling. Megsy likes to get away, get out of Melbourne, and yes, he's over in Perth enjoying the Blues win.
And her man, Sean Hampson, he showed some real contested marking ability in the first quarter. He was really important. Still got some improvement left in his game across 4 quarters, but a bit to get excited about there, I thought, tonight for Sean Hampson. As Mark Murphy wanders his way back, they got all the way down the other end here of Patersons Stadium to thank the Carlton supporters. Good crowd turned up. A lot of Carlton supporters have travelled across to the west, and they'll be very, very happy tonight.
They will indeed. They'll go and sing the song. We're going to stay with them until they go down inside the rooms and just watch with interest to see whether Mick Malthouse is in the inner perimeter or whether he just stays outside and lets the players enjoy this one. That man there, Chris Yarron, set this place alight early in this game. 3 goals in that second quarter. There is Mick Malthouse with his coaching staff, Brad Green.
I think Mick might be going back, and I'm not sure Mick's got an apology in him, but Brad Green copped both barrels just before 3/4 time. It might have been, hey, when I asked for the time, you find out the time, Brad, and you give it to me right now. He copped a nice little spray, but all's well that ends well.
Yeah, he was quite brutal there at one stage, Mick, but never been any different. Never been any different. And Johnny Barker, another one of the coaches down there, discussing the intricacies. Gavin Brown also with the Blues coaching as well.
Footy is a great environment when you have a win, Brian, and this is, I reckon, the best half an hour of your week. After a win, you're tired, you're not injured, you get off and you're interstate, you get to sit around with 21 other mates. It's a magical feeling.
Win number 387 for Mick Malthouse. Kevin Sheedy has 388. No one between he and Jock McHale. So he's 2 wins away from becoming the second most successful winning coach in the history of the game. Is Mick Malthouse. This will be great for supporters, Carlton supporters all around the country, to watch this. I'm sure they will celebrate with gusto. Let's go down there and pick up the sounds of the room.